they come on throughout the time once Bob emails everyone here. Okay, so do that, and make sure you also let me know that you're still hearing me from time to time, because now I'm a little concerned, and I want to make sure you are hearing. Okay, so I'd also love to hear what you're wanting to get out of this immersive training. It may just be you want to see what gaps might be filled and go to that next level because you're already rocking it out there. In fact, a couple people from the Power Women of National Speakers Association I know are here with us, and they were saying, hey, they can always learn, and who knows what they might see. That one little tweak might be the very thing that makes all the difference for you. Okay, loud and clear, wonderful. Great, great, great. And Elaine is from Las Vegas. Awesome. So it's great. I love knowing where you're from too. So feel free to put that in the chat. We formed like a bond now, right? Okay, great. And now that we've begun, turn off your distractions, stay focused, get your notes ready, and we're going to deep dive. So this isn't like an hour webinar and I give you some content and then I drive you to a sale. This is not that. What I'm literally doing is lifting the veil, lifting you and taking you behind the curtain and sharing with you what I do with my VIP clients from Launch You Now and addressing those 5 elements, which I'm going to share with you here in our time together, and walk you step by step with what we do and how we do that with them that has helped create just incredible success. Literally, some people who had a spark of an idea, and we were able to then laser in with that idea, what their branding, their messaging, what type of funnel and pathway that they would want to monetization, what they wanted to do. And you want to design it around what works for you, whether that's coaching or speaking or a combination of that or consulting or your business. I've had entertainment lawyers, psychotherapists, you name it. We have a wonderful horse whisperer with us. So whatever that business is for you, but being able to take all that and be able to put it together and lead into the type of media you need to create that will communicate what you're about, that will draw and magnetize your high-end clients, that will get those bookings for you and get more media. And when we have done this process I'm going to share with you and the way that we approach it, I mean, people have gone from struggling for years to then becoming #1 best-selling authors, to filling up their coaching programs right away, to getting those high-end clients they'd so wanted for so long, to getting all sorts of speaking bookings, and to getting even TV offers. So it really is like that launch into success when you can combine and connect these dots. All right, so I'm going to look at some of your comments here. Oh, good. Brooke, intuitive mentor. I love that, Brooke. And Inga, I think I'm saying your name right. Inga and I, she as part of my Wow Factor training that I did. I'll tell you a little bit about that. And is wonderful in her work with horses. So I'm just tuning into here. And Merritt's here for clarity on messaging. Nancy is here from Ventura County. And yeah, so seeing what it is that you want to make sure on. So you just clicked on the page, it took me to YouTube, and you're live. So I can now control the sound just for confirmation. That was Bob. Okay, great. So I want to also welcome people that may be here from the various facets of those that I reach. And I'd also love to know how you heard about this. So we have what we call the Power Women of National Speakers Association. It's this amazing group of women speakers that come together to share resources and training. And I thought, oh, I definitely want to share this with them because of the power of the information that can help, you know, laser through, cut through all the noise and get to the essence of what you need. Yay, and Gregory, I know through Periscope, which is a live stream technology. Definitely recommend you guys check that out. And is also a wonderful motivator himself. And then also ICF, the International Coaches Federation. I did one for them a while back, and you might have some folks here from ICF, my clients, my colleagues, my friends, and anyone who's found this link. Now, if you want to share with folks to dive in, you can take this live link, this current one we gave you, and just send it out to folks. Just know that they wouldn't get notified on the replay. If you want them to get notified on the replay, then you would send them to getlaunched.getknown.getpaid.com. However, what's that?
They will get notified.
They will get notified. Okay, great. Awesome. They will get notified. Okay, good. Okay, so let's dive in. Why am I doing this? Why did I even get to doing Launch You Now? I'm going to share with you a little bit of background, but before I do, one thing from being in this business since really the 90s, but I would say 2002 is when I started taking on being an infopreneur and a marketer and a speaker. I'd come from the world of entertainment and being an entrepreneur, but in this world since 2002, I was behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, working with the top leaders in personal growth and in marketing. Yay, Joel, I'm so glad you made it. and I saw this, I don't know, what's a word for it? I saw an issue, that's for lack of a better word, a challenge that was going on in that people were coming with all this enthusiasm to these seminars, to these trainings. They were spending thousands and thousands of dollars for various programs. And yet every year I'd be seeing them and they're still in the same place. They were spinning their wheels. They weren't getting to where they wanted to go, and they were trying so hard. They had wonderful offerings, no matter what their business, or even if they were a speaker or a coach. And it was just frustrating to see. It's like they were stuck in the spin cycle. You know, have you been there? If you've ever been stuck in that spin cycle, type yes in the chat. All right. And I said, here's the issue I see is that people are maybe getting in one area, they're getting some information or another, but they're not getting the full scope, and they're not bringing it together in all the way that you want to, that then clicks and then has you take off. Yes, yes, yes. See, there are folks saying yes now. And there's a minute delay, so sometimes I may not see it until like a minute after I've been speaking. Awesome. Yes, right? Me too. Me too. And the other issue that I was seeing is that they'd be getting the information, but then not implementing it. And part of it was second guessing or doubting oneself, trying to do it oneself, and then not trusting it. And if that's been you, feel free to say yes. It's been me too. Okay, so we all have that. Vicky, by the way, says she's a medicine woman. Yes, I love Vicky. I'm so glad you're here with us, Vicky. Evelyn, just starting out, so this is something to avoid. Exactly, Evelyn. Believe me. Hopefully this training right here will save you years of trying to figure it out. Okay, that is my goal and what I want to share with you here. So I'm gonna go to some slides now that I got my mojo back here. Okay, good. Oh, goodness. So let me do a little welcome. Hello, welcome on to now. So this is my fun little picture and sound familiar? Yeah, and also that's like from spending tons of money as it just pours out of your pocket from this paying for this seminar and then the travel to it and this mentorship or this business coach. And there's lots of value in that. So I'm not saying that's wrong. There is so much value in it. But when you're wanting to accelerate the process, or when you're wanting to bring everything together in order to move forward, and you're maybe missing something, you don't realize, why is this not working? What isn't landing? What isn't connecting? Okay, so I'm going to share with you and connect all those dots for you. Let me just die here. There we go. All right. And we're going to go over the full scope, step by step, what we do with our client and what you can do on your own. And I'm going to share the 5 key elements. All right. One of which is almost always missing or falling short. But when you design in the beginning with this in mind, you're golden. All right. I'm also going to share with you 3 or more resources that are game changers for your business. So that's kind of a little bonus I'm going to share with you along the way. And I'm going to bring you on for some hot seats. Yes, especially those who were here in the beginning, hanging on and waiting. Bravo. We're going to bring you online into the Hangout. In fact, we have with us DW, who is a current VIP client. I'm going to share with you some of his story and his process. You're going to learn from these before and afters, and even through as we share with DW. And as you do, you can see what's possible for you and what you can do. Okay. We're also going to show you how to do for yourself and what to consider as you bring it all together. And here's the deal I want you to know. Now, I got so caught up in serving my clients the past 4 years, and before that I had training. I should probably tell you my story so I'm not having to backtrack for that. But I'll tell you in a moment. But I got so caught up in serving my clients and being there for them that I was only taking events or bookings when the phone would ring through a referral. I was not actively putting myself out there. I wasn't even doing for myself what I know to do for my clients. So I kind of left myself in the dust. This is just being transparent here. And I finally realized this is ridiculous. I know I can light up any stage. I, speak and sing and MC for thousands. I've done TV hosting forever. It's time that I do for myself what I've been doing for my clients. And so I've been now shifting that focus back to me. And so I only now take one or at most two VIP clients at a time so that I can give completely of myself to the process that's needed. Otherwise, it's like, oh, thank you very much. Let me go to this. I'm missing your chat, and I don't want to miss your chat. So in a moment, if you did chat something and I missed it, just know I will go back to that in a moment and find it. But right now, it's the screen's a little bit, and I need Bob's help for that. So if I'm missing something in chat, don't worry, I will go back and find it. But I do like clicking into what you're saying. So where was I? This is like when you do Periscope and you answer people's chats or you get diverted, you go, what was I saying? So I know. So here's the deal, is that I want to share this with you. I want you to go out and put this in action or have light bulbs go off for you for what you can do. And I know that organically someone may see everything I'm sharing here and realize, you know what? I just want it done for me and with me. And then they decide to hire for that service. So that happens on its own by itself. So I'm not here proactively trying to sell that, and I can only take one or at most two anyway. So, and I'll also let you know, some people too, in hearing everything I'm sharing here with you, might want to have a one-on-one, just one time, but one-on-one session and getting specifically for them just so they could have that guidance. So I'll let you know how to do that, and I discount it so you don't have to pay what it normally is, and just one time for the one session. So those are the only things that will be at the end, made available to you. But this is to really share with you so you can go out there and do it yourself. Is that clear? Awesome. Okay. So I talked about bringing on hot seats, and that we're not selling. I'm just telling you what I will offer because some of you will need or want that. And where is my wonderful pick of DW? Here's DW. Let's give a round of applause for DW. Woo! He's here with us. He's in the chat. You've probably been talking with him. He was in the beginning trying to hang on as we were waiting. And DW is actually going to come on live into the room with us at some point, and we'll talk through his process and every one of these elements. So you kind of see the journey with him. And the before and afters. Oh my goodness, the before and afters you're going to see, that's where the learning really clicks in. So as you watch these before and afters, think about how it can apply to you as we go through this. All right? That's when just light bulbs go off at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So to give you some background and why am I qualified here to share this with you? So I come from the world of entertainment. I've been in TV, film, Broadway, radio, all my life, actually, ever since a little girl. And I've had a wonderful career that's taken me around the world, opened for a lot of different names, performed or spoken for, emceed many high-end events. Some of these celebrities you see I've opened for or worked with. And, it's been a wonderful career. And all my life, I also have loved personal growth and knew I wanted to just take my own career, in my own hands, not rely on auditions, but also have it have meaning, have something that helps shift people's lives, have something that is of service. And my heart was just calling out for that. And in '97, I ended up getting my own radio show in Los Angeles on the Personal Achievement Radio Network. And it's too long of a story to take you all the details, but needless to say, it ended up getting picked up by the national syndicate. And I had a nationally syndicated radio show on personal achievement, getting to work with these greats that I loved and looked up to for years, from Dennis Waitley, Brian Tracy, Robert Kiyosaki, getting to interview them and learn from them. And then from there, I ended up getting mentored personally, firsthand, by Robert Allen and Mark Victor Hansen on how to be an infopreneur, how you put your own programs out there online, how you market it, what best way to message it. And I was still doing events at the time while offering programs. My first program was The Goal Getter, about getting your goals with focus, fun, and ease, a 6-week program that I put out in 2003. Yes, that long ago. And then people were asking me, how can I have that presence and that power that whatever they were seeing on stage? And so I ended up creating finally, because of their demand in 2005, a program called the Wow Factor. And it is a very, I would say, inside-out approach to speaking. Oh, there we go. That wasn't coming back. We had some technical glitches, so we'll hope the technical gods are with us now. So I might have to text Bob, by the way, because I need a little assistance here so I can see your chat. Bob, I need help with chat. So 1 second. Okay. Let's see if he gets this. I wrote hat. Need help with hat. There we go. Okay, don't worry. I will see your chat in just a moment. Okay, let's see what's going on. Oh boy. Hang tight. I don't know if you can hear me. All right. I don't know if you can hear me, so I'm going to go to chat and try to see if I can see what's going on. You hear me? Well, it's frozen on my end. So, Bob, if you could come in and help me, that'd be great. Let's see. Are we live? You can keep going. You hear me loud and clear? Do you see me moving? Okay. Well, because it's frozen. You want to see what I'm seeing? It's frozen. The screen's frozen. As long as you're hearing me, that's good. But I can't access.
Okay, well, don't look at me again.
Well, I need to. I have to show the slides and the video through webcam. This is hilarious, you guys. I really want to make this work for you. Let me just dive in. Let me share with you some resources while we're waiting for him to help hopefully fix this. You might have to close it.
I have an idea.
Okay, he has an idea, so he's going to try this. While he does this, I'm going to just share with you a resource right now.
I'm going to switch this camera to the camera.
Okay.
While I fix the mini camera, and then I'll switch it back.
Okay. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Tell me if you can see me.
Am I doing the right one?
What do you want, Logitech?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, it won't see it. It won't see it because Minicam has it.
Okay. Well, I'll just talk to them, whatever they're seeing. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay still? I think so. All good. Great. So here's a couple resources. You won't in a second, but will they hear me?
No.
Okay, then
for a brief minute.
For a brief minute, you won't hear me. We're going to just... Want the webcam audio?
I'm afraid you're going to get double audio on the videos again, but you should be able to be heard now.
I might get double audio on the videos? Oh, dear. Okay, let's see. We see and hear you. Bob Bobbington as well. Ah, Steve! That's great. No sound. Nancy says no sound. I have sound now. Okay, good. Shall we move forward? Okay, because I got lots to share with you, darn it. Okay, good. And I can see your chat. Hallelujah. Fabulous. Okay, let me go back in to the playlist so I can continue sharing with you. So back to what I was saying. So I was doing the Wow Factor, which is an inside-out approach to speaking. And it was not only absolutely transforming people's speaking, they were going from stiff or robust to alive and on fire, or maybe they were already great, but they went to another level in how their impact and even the ability to speak from the top of their head. It was really extraordinary. I know how to bring that essence out in people. And so I've been doing that ever since 2005. And that's a real key piece when it comes to doing what we do when we present ourselves, especially in video and marketing videos like that. And then I saw that the gap was needed for what we do now with Launching Now, that you can tell folks, go out and do this. You can maybe even have them create videos, but then they don't come across, they don't connect, or it's not bringing all those pieces together. And so I started doing Launching Now as a better way, an even deeper way to serve my clients. And that's when I then kind of left myself in the dust. Now, that's okay, because it's been amazing to see the successes I've been able to be a part of, the amazing people I've learned from, and that I just love, that have become friends now, going, working together. But here's something I want you guys to know, that it doesn't matter where you are right now. If you're just beginning and it looks like this huge, overwhelming path that you have to take on, or you've come up against fears or being stopped, or where you've stopped yourself, or you're already going for it, you want to go to that next level, what matters is what you're going to do with this moment forward. And I went through a period of time in my life where I had just come off, this is when I was younger, in my early 20s, and I'd just come off a Broadway show, and a bunch of things caught up with me from my past in that time. And I basically lost all confidence, got completely shut down, could no longer sing, could no longer do anything. I had to leave the entertainment business for 2 years and went and became a waitress. And I was even a horrible waitress. But in that time, I cocooned, and I came back in a different way, in a stronger way. And I feel like because of that whole long journey and process, I have an ability to see what's inside someone and bring it out, even if it's locked deep inside. So just trust enough that just because it might not have happened yet, or you might have a lot of fears or lockup, which may not be you, but if you do, that it doesn't mean you're not meant to do it. It just might mean that it means so much to you, or that you're all the more meant to do it, and you just need to work through what's coming up for you. All right, so I want to encourage you to, no matter where you are, I've seen it. I've seen people go from 0 to 60 once they get these elements together that we're going to share with you. And also, as you know, when I work with my clients, I also work with the inside piece of it too, because it's a journey. It's a journey. All right, so let's keep going here. Let's talk about what many may not be aware of. By the way, this is a picture of me when I had that shutdown period. Here we go. Funny that it says wet paint there, right? Now, as we've been hearing, and if you haven't yet, I don't know what rock you've been under, but it's been featured articles in Inc. magazine, Google, Forrester, everywhere about the power of video and what video is bringing to business, especially more than ever. Now, these are some facts. This one, I think, is from Forrester. Yeah, Forrester research. 1 minute of video is equal to 1.8 million words. And I mean strategic, crafted, well-messaged, well-intended video. Video is the vehicle for what your message is. And I'm going to come back on and say it again. We're not just talking about video here today, but video is a huge piece because it's the engine, it's the vehicle that will drive your branding, your strategy, your messaging. That also goes for your site and for your other materials too. But in order to create the type of videos that will be an engine for you, you need to have all these other pieces, branding, the strategy, messaging in place. So to me, this is a remarkable, I find it hard to believe actually, but according to this research, 1 minute of video and the way it converts is equal to 1.8 million words. Prospects are 72%. This is from Wharton School of Business, as you can see. They're 72% more likely to buy a product or service when video is used, and they make their buying decisions faster. And marketers, when they included a video, obviously a strategic and well-messaged video in their email, their click-through rate, that means people who saw it and then clicked through that email to wherever they were directing them, increased by that huge percentage. Including video, we'll keep moving, that helped reduce opt-outs. You might want to think about that. And it's important, and I think we know this, that a customer can put a face to your name, especially for online businesses, where the customer will have little, if any, contact with you directly. And it is an absolute trust factor, a trust grabber. And we know that's one of the key components, is to know, like, and trust you in someone making a buying decision. And video is that vehicle for you. All right. So then what happens is people go, oh, okay, I get it. It's about video. So let's make a video. Come on, let's put up a video. Not just any video, you know, let's really get into it. But the issue may be that great video sells and bad video repels. And also that includes not just how you're coming across, but also the way that you've been messaging it and what you're communicating it. Now, here are the 5 key elements that we're going to cover, and this all incorporates using video as your engine. But it's picking a lane. I'm not into this thing that you have to overly niche. There are people that really, they work on that, and that's great. I think there's a way that you can niche, and we'll talk about this in messaging, where you're kind of niching your messaging, but what you offer does cover a wider range. But that branding has to be able to be an umbrella that encompasses what you're about and brings it together with where you're going to focus and target. Then strategy, and that's knowing the strategy of your opt-in funnel. That's knowing the strategy of where you want to lead them for what you're going to offer for paid products. I know, and Carlos wrote, who would have thought camcorders were going to cause a revolution? 30 years. Yes. Great. But yeah, so, and then we're going to lead them to the paid, and how you're going to even maybe create engagement. So you want to have all these kinds of strategy in place as you design what you're going to launch. Now your messaging meaning how you're putting across, oh boy, this messaging module today is so hot. What we're going to show you, I can't wait to share that. You'll get it even with the first example I'm about to show you. Because in the examples I take you through, I'm going to be touching on all these key elements kind of at once, but we'll be lasering in on maybe one specific part of the element, but you're going to see them in everything that I show you. But messaging is so key in being able to land what you're about. Then connection and delivery, how you connect within that video or as you're delivering your message. And of course, you want it to look professional. Now, it's fine to have unprofessional looking videos. Those are important, actually, the raw, real ones. But you need at least one that well represents you playing at a high-end level that shares what you're about. And then you can do other videos that are strategic, that maybe are more homegrown. But really, at least one, make that investment, okay, in yourself and in the time and whatever it takes to make that. So now I want to share with you one of my favorite examples, and she's actually one of my earlier clients in the day here. Let's see, in 2014, DW wrote, Americans consumed almost 6 hours of video per day. And now on YouTube, 100 years worth of video is seen every day. If you were to put it all together, what people are digesting. On Periscope, 10 years, it might be 20 years worth of video because it's rising so fast. So that's the impact. You want to know that you can make that connection, even if you're a real estate agent, even if you're a lawyer, because people will trust you more when you put a face to your business. Now, there's ways you can get around it where you have a video that's animated video, you know, or the chalkboard type of videos. But when you have that face along with who you are, that really makes all the difference, especially, of course, as a speaker or a coach or consultant. Speaking of which, here's our first example. All right, so get your pens and papers because we're going to cover the wide scope here with Carrie and take you in the before and after, and also share her results and what you want to think about for yourself. So Carrie Tepedino came to us, and she had been an amazing holistic health coach. So she would work with people on the whole scope of their mindset and what they would eat and their exercise, what's all going to come together to bring you that health you need, right? But she had a website up. She was following all the different rules in marketing, but she was not, just struggling so hard to get people in her coaching program. Wasn't getting many bookings at all for speaking or certainly anything else. And you know, the clients that she did get were really troublesome clients, really a lot of issues, some of them not paying, and she wanted high-end clients. She wanted to be abundant and monetize. She wanted to, you know, have this brilliance that she had be able to be communicated, because it wasn't landing. What people weren't getting the light bulbs to go off, or at least not enough to decide to invest in her. Right, so I'm going to show you a before of Carrie, and we'll talk through what was wrong, quote unquote wrong, what was not working for her there. And then we're going to show you the after, and show you what was working so you can start thinking for yourself what to do. So here is the before.
Hi there, I'm Carrie Tendino, your personal holistic health strategist and connoisseur. I'm so excited that you're here with me today, ready to discover this opportunity to embark on a life-changing journey where you take control of not only your health, but your own life.
Nice. Okay. Now what's great there is, you know, she's personable, she's friendly enough, right? So that's good because you want to be authentic. However, you know, that background isn't really suiting her. It's just kind of this wall of greenery. Now, it's fine to do something outside if you have good lighting and maybe you're in a nice little tropical area and it's well lit. You don't want it to be distracting. We'll talk about backgrounds and things like that later as we dive in more specifically into media. But as you can see, the light's blaring in her eyes and she's overexposed. You don't quite get what she's about or why it would mean anything to you, why you would want that, right? And the audio is kind of harsh. So I'm getting double audio, Bob said. Okay, so what do you need me to do, Bob?
I'm not sure.
Double audio when I speak or double audio when Carrie?
Just
Did you guys get double audio too?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Of course they did. All right, well, Bob's going to try to fix this while I talk through this. So I'm going to keep going, though, as I talk about Carrie. And hopefully as we get to the next video, we don't have double audio. If we do, just hang in there with me. Sorry. We're doing our best. We're working through this. We tested and we tested. And sometimes even when you do, these things happen.
You need to see if we lose your audio right now.
Okay, we might lose audio right now, he said. So okay. Talk. Now you hear me. Okay, good. May I keep going now?
Yeah.
Okay. So with Carrie, we said, well, let's dive into, this is part of messaging, right? We knew what she wanted to do. She knew as far as her strategy goes. She knew her branding. She knew that as far as the strategy goes, she wanted to bring them into a strategy session where they could then have free 20 minutes with her on the phone, and she'd help them with what could be uniquely helpful to them and their holistic health, and then let them know about a coaching package. But to even drive them to that on her site, you know, she wasn't even getting that to happen. But her messaging wasn't landing. And we said, well, what is it? What is it that when you work with people, and I want you guys to think about this, what's that unique differentiator? And we'll dive into this when we get to the messaging part. But what's that unique differentiator? What's going to make it pop? And she says, well, she doesn't even just work on the healthy exercises. She's this toxic mindset that people have, that even though they know what to do, it gets in their way and stops them. We went, that's it. That's what you need to bring to light, right? So and you'll see in the messaging when I go to play the after video, we need to bring that forward and lead with that. Also, in the first 10 seconds, you want to grab right into what's in it for them. You want to have them see what's going to be their reward, why they're going to benefit. Don't just talk about I'm this, I'm that, and I come from this. What's going to be in it for them, all right, in the very beginning right away in these kind of videos. And we wanted to shoot her professionally. Now this is 4 years ago. So, you know, the video technology that we have now is completely different, but I want to share with you, even considering that, the difference. And she's still using this video because of the results she's getting. So we wanted to shoot it professionally, got the right sound, the right lighting, you know, bright colors. You want bright colors, helps you stand out. Like, this is a bright color, you know, unless your brand color is a specific kind. And so let's take you now to the after, and then I'll share with you her results and why. This isn't like, oh, that's nice. No, the results will speak for themselves. So mic can be muted from the control panel. Oh, Bob, I don't know if you saw that. Carlos says the mic can be muted from the control panel. Okay, Bob's saying we can't. So I don't know what that means. But back to Carrie. Let's show you Carrie's after. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Carrie Tendino. Did you know that it's not you, but actually the conversation you have going on in your head that's controlling your weight and your health? How would it feel to eliminate that toxic conversation forever while dropping excess weight and getting into the best shape of your life? And what if it can actually be fun and easy?
Yay! What if it could actually be fun and easy, right? We love that. What's wrong? We still got the double audio?
Try your headset and see if you can.
Okay, Bob's wanted me to try my headset because they're hearing double audio and it's tough to focus.
Because it's coming through.
Can you, I think it fell. Okay. Now I don't know which is mine, which is yours. Well, one was only one channel. Okay, so 1 moment. Excuse me. We're going to try to solve this. Hello? Well, I won't hear anything until I play. All right, well, we'll just try that once it's time. Okay, so back to Carrie. Isn't this fun? Are you guys having fun? Let me know that hopefully you're getting value already, because we're just now diving in deep into all that I'm going to share with you specifically, okay? But I had to set up context so you can know what we're going to leap off from. Okay, so okay, good. You hear me fine now. We'll have to just see. We might have double audio as I play the examples, and if so, I apologize. But just look for the points we're making and try to just separate yourself from the audio. Hopefully you can tune into what was said. Now, if you heard what Carrie said in there, what she said is, it's not you, but the toxic conversation you have going on in your head that's causing, the problems that you're having with your weight or whatever. And then she said, what if it could be fun and easy? So she was giving all the benefits. She was having you come inside and realize what's possible for you. And then she starts introducing herself, right? So look at that way that messaging was. Now, did you also see how bright and alive she looked? She had a lot better connection on the camera. She was still herself and real, but maybe an amped up version of herself. Definitely positioned herself as being a professional, to shine, right? So that being the case, she then takes, all she did was now take this is what we call a calling card video. It wraps up everything that she's about and the promises that she offers, has a specific call to action, usually that central video on your site, but it can be used in other ways that you'll see. And she put that on her site within the call to action for the opt-in. Well, drum roll, please. Okay, thank you, Evelyn, for what you just said. Yay. So then here's the results. And this is what I think is just so powerful. So within a month, I think it was in a couple weeks, actually, she filled up her coaching program right away. Within a month, she got a call from the Chopra Center. And the Chopra Center is Deepak Chopra's center that's really high end that people go to. And they called her and wanted her to offer her services there for their people, special contract with them. And she got offered to be seen as a host for a new TV show on NBC. She'd never done TV before. And I get to hear of calls sometimes, and I saw a call to go out for that. I said, well, why don't you send out for this? She sent in that video, just that video. And NBC was like, yes. She got selected out of thousands who were trying, and all said no to, but she got a yes. She ended up auditioning, didn't make it all the way, but she got that offer that would not have come in if she didn't have that ready, that showed what she was about, delivered it in such a powerful professional way. So start again thinking about what you can do for you. What way you can present yourself that's going to land like that, okay? So that was an overall kind of example here. But now let's move forward to these elements. And DW, I'm bringing you on after I just bring up another example here, okay? So hang in there with me, DW. Yeah, I know, Brooke, isn't that amazing? And a great self-confidence builder. And you're right. There's something that happens. This, I think, is really powerful. Once you experience yourself in this way, it changes something, it shifts something, it shifts how you show up when you get in front of people to now speak or to do a presentation. I can't wait to share with you about Arson and how he used what we created, just whipping it out on his phone to show someone that he just met, by accident, okay? So this is the power of what gets created here strategically. Now, when you look at wanting to create these kind of materials in this approach, you have to bear in mind all aspects. So one of the elements is branding. And that means that you're not trying to be 5,000 things to one person without there being some kind of through line. And we'll hear about that with Arson as well, and then what we ended up zeroing in on for him. But right now I'm going to share with you about Gloria. So Gloria is quite an amazing woman. She has this young, youthful personality, but she was head of the Asian caucus, worked in the White House, got to meet the president, worked for a lot of different foundations and nonprofits. She also wanted to be a life coach. She was kind of all over the place as far as who she served, but she certainly had a wonderful wealth of credibility and understanding of these different sectors. And we looked for what is the common thread within everything you do, even if it's to the individual as a life coach. And we zeroed in that it was around leadership. And what we saw is that she was able to work with these organizations or even an individual and have them be able to step into leadership so that they could make the most impact. And we thought, let's call your brand then high impact leadership. Your high impact leadership. And then that's going to apply whether that's government, foundations, nonprofit, colleges and universities, or even the individual. So let's go with high impact leadership. And also, because she was trying to do a life coach, she had some pretty fun, silly pictures, but then she had these professional pictures. So we kind of tied it all together that brought her essence forward, but also was able to speak to these different markets in one umbrella of this branding. So we're going to show you her after. And Brooke says, let's see, using phrases like, wouldn't it be great if you, and what if I told you, so that the message lands to the audience. Oh yes, right, exactly, Brooke. And we're going to be addressing that when we get to the messaging part of it, specific things you can do within your messaging, but you're kind of picking up already as I show you these examples. So here is Gloria. And by the way, I've started in the beginning of this, she had a couple of those qualifying questions and then started sharing about her, but I just started right away as she shares about her. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Gloria S. Chan.
Boy.
Hi,
Okay,
I'm Gloria S. Chan. Hi, I'm Gloria S. Chan.
Oh, goodness. Bob? Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We'll move forward. I'll tell you what she said because I don't know why. Maybe you were hearing her audio. It might be in my headphones. I'll just let you hear that. I'll let you hear. Here we go. I think it's my headphones, but I'm going to let it play anyway.
Hi, I'm Gloria S. Chan, high impact leadership consultant, Harvard Law graduate, and creator of the Impact Principle. And in my years of serving in Congress as the executive director of the Asian Pacific American Caucus, and later as the head and turnaround expert of a major nonprofit, I discovered a unique set of challenges that a certain breed of visionary leaders all face. You'll find these leaders in academia, corporation, government, nonprofit, and philanthropy. They share the same consciousness of their power and the awesome responsibility it carries. They could be satisfied with their success and status, but that's not what it's about for them.
All right, there we go. Still echo. I know we even with the headphones, still echo. Okay, well, I will take the headphones out because then I can actually hear what's being said. You were able to hear her, though, I hope. Forgive the echo around that. But if you could see that she was addressing the different markets that she'll deal with, but that umbrella is that being visionary leaders and high impact leadership. So may I just tell you, she has taken off. She got some really super high-end government contracts, a big contract with the university. This has opened up so many doors for her. And she was a VIP client. So we did all sorts of other strategic videos, from SEO videos, positioning videos, video product, all sorts of things that I'll share with you coming up ahead. So that's the power when you can really narrow down that messaging that lands and present it in this kind of way. So hopefully you're seeing what I'm talking about here. Now, let's have fun and bring on someone live. So DW, I hope you are ready. So DW, what I need you to do, and this is for anyone because we are going to have hot seats. You'll see where there's a little hand going like this, with I think there's a hand raise or a thing that says request to speak. If at some point you want to be brought on and be coached or like explore what could work for you in your messaging or your strategy as we go along, I will know that someone who volunteers for that. So I am going to go, I don't know if you've clicked on request to speak yet or not, DW, but I'm going to bring, oh, I see your hand raised. Let's see. And let me view you, and we're going to bring you in, I think. I think we're bringing you in. Invite as speaker. There we go. I think you should be coming in a moment. We tested this yesterday, so we are hoping that works. I'm not seeing him come on. In the meantime, let me see if I can find a picture to share with you. And once you're here, DW, let me know. Let me find my picture of him. So look at this. This was what his branding was before. Are you there? Oh, I hear you now. Hi, DW.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. Yay, wonderful to see you. Let me get you on full screen. There's DW. Good. Look, it's DW, everybody.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Oh, my goodness.
So, DW, you cannot hear me right now?
Any way I can plug in and hear you?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going.
I can hear you now.
Okay, you hear me now. Good.
Can
Thank
you hear
goodness.
me? Yay, can you hear me?
Held to the fire here. Good. Okay, I hear you now and I see you now.
Awesome.
So as you can see, DW, look, he's sharp. Look how wonderfully dressed. You're a sharp dressed man. You look great. And I've come to discover some miraculous things about DW. But let me just, and I asked DW about this, if we could talk openly as we share his journey with you, okay? And he said, absolutely. So when I met DW, I opened last summer for the National Speakers Association, their national conference. And so when I'd finished that opening, as I'm leaving, people like to come up and say nice things. And there is this gentleman in a... Everything he says is echoed. Well, I don't know how to change that. Is it understandable when it's echoed? DW, when it was echoed, was at least understandable what you were hearing on the video?
Which video?
The videos I was playing earlier?
Yeah, the double echo I heard, but I could still make out what she was talking about.
Okay, so I apologize. I'm being told you're double echoed. I just want to make sure that we can at least understand what you're saying, because we don't understand unless you have an idea about how to fix it. Okay, so I see this gentleman dressed in a white doctor's coat with a stethoscope around his neck, and I think you had something else. We want to describe how you were dressed. We won't give anything else away, but just describe how you were dressed.
Am I double echoed now?
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, I'm told yes.
Okay. So I was wearing a doctor's lab coat that I had put together that said the change doctor on it, and a stethoscope, a neon stethoscope, and I had an Bluetooth earpiece, and I had tongue depressors in my pocket along with my book.
That's great. All right, so are we here?
Oh, and flashlights like doctors have in their pockets with pens.
That's great. No, what are you doing, Bob?
I'm trying to figure out.
What's wrong? One moment. Because there's a reason what we bring up. Nothing like stop and start, right?
I'm afraid now you won't hear the videos at all.
Well,
We need to
then
see if
I'd
we
rather
can
just
hear
have
him.
echo than not
We
hear
need
the
to see if we can
videos.
hear him.
All right, go ahead and talk and let's see if we hear you.
Okay, testing 1 2 3. Testing 1
Okay,
2
so Bob,
3.
we hear echo. Okay, so you get the picture, you guys. So here he is as the doctor, right? So I'm going to now show a video too, and I will share them my impression, and we'll kind of just get nothing else about DW. All you see is that dress up at an event, no less. Now he thought, I want to stand out. I don't want to be just one of 2,000 speakers. I want to stand out. That's why you did what you did, which is understandable, right? But we have to be careful why we make certain decisions. There has to be reason or purpose behind it, right? Then you, without knowing anything else about DW, we'll see what your impression is here. And this is why it's important to point out. Let me get to where I have that. Oh, come on now. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's a picture. I thought that was your video. Oh, DW, I have this awesome, wonderful before of you. And I guess
it's labeled NSA speaker.
Yeah, I thought I had it. Is he double still?
Good.
Everything's good. All right.
I think when he put in this, that's it.
Okay. Let me see if I find. Let's see. This might be it. And I don't think it's working actually. Goodness gracious. I'll tell you what. Let's just, you see this picture. We'll come back and I'll just share more about it. Let's just move forward here because we've got so much to share and I don't want to miss everyone getting what we're here for. Okay, you can hear the words beside the echo. It's not echoing now. Great. So, DW, when I met you, I thought, what a beautiful man. But at first, I thought, I almost felt like I want to take a step back because I thought, what's he about? And I thought, he's a doctor of change. I thought maybe you were a doctor, you know, but no, you want to be the change doctor. You're going to go in and fix change. And when I go over to, let me point over where your old SIG file looked, was like this. And we have a video of him at NSA talking about being the change doctor and that he's going to deliver prescriptions for employees of companies with constant change disorder due to DUMAR, which stands for downsizing, upsizing, merging. You know, I understand what he's trying to say, but you're kind of trying to follow along and then that prescription is change your size and you're like, and change your size and that's exercise. And it just kind of left one not clear and wondering. And frankly, I think lessening the impact and value and power of who I've now discovered DW to be and who he is. Because DW and I exchanged cards. We had a really special connection. He wrote a beautiful poem actually about being who you are and your greatness. And I thought, what a great sweetheart, you know, but it was hard for me to make sense of this guy in a doctor's outfit. He's not a doctor, but just trying to position as a doctor of change and doing this poem. And so I was kind of trying to make sense of it, but nice and let go. And then I heard from him later and he'd had my card and done a bunch of research and was looking at different people that he wanted to work with and had made a decision, thankfully, to work with me. And you'd said it was because of the, then we dove in and I'll tell you ending, but did you want to say anything real quickly while I touched on that about why you made that decision versus all the other biggies you were choosing between?
Yeah, I like I said to you, what I did was I did a lot of research. I found a lot of professional people, very serious, very businesslike, but there was a part that was missing that I needed for my personal growth, and that was heart.
Right. That's great. And to know, too, is DW and I, you know, when I work with someone, and this is important for you guys when you work on yourself, is don't just take it surface. And a lot of people, when you do these things, they'll just take the surface and run. And, you know, we dove deep. I can't tell you the amount of hours and hours and hours and hours we spent looking at what DW is about, what way he wants to be out there. And this is what I want you to think about for your branding or what umbrella you have. But, you know, what way you want, when you reach that success, what way do you want to be out there serving people in the world? Don't start setting it up in the way you think you should or they tell you if it's not something that resonates with you or that won't work for you, you know. So, and what are you about? What are your interests? What can tie in together? What ways have you served people in the past? What is your past history or your story? So, for instance, for DW, he's had 3 different distinct brain trauma injuries, you know, throughout his life, and understands how he's had to compensate for that. But he's also brilliant, I would dare say Mensa, and has a very high-end job at a company that where he's been managing and leading folks and been the #1 salesperson there for the past 30 years. I might be saying it incorrectly, but you know, he has quite an incredible background that really supports. This man knows and understands change. He's had to adapt in his own life, but also leading companies and what ways that they would show up and how they changed. I mean, this man has solid expertise. This man is brilliant. This man has heart. Well, we want to bring that forward, right? So when we were talking through what could DW, what could be his branding then? If we're not going to be the change doctor, what's his branding? And we were talking through all different aspects, and he knows that he has these 5 elements. Like I'm doing 5 elements here. Isn't that interesting, right, DW? and he also realized, you know, he had the idea of having different shapes that would represent what kind of way you approach change. And we thought, well, and the ultimate shape would be 5-star change, where it basically incorporates these 5 different elements that you need to bear in mind. And it has to be that 5-star feeling of a 5-star hotel, of a 5-star general, but 5-star thing. So it's 5-star change. It's driving change for exponential growth versus let me fix your Dumar disorder and try to figure out Dumar, right? And we also figured out that have his system be around his name, because he's DW Starr, which is interestingly enough, I found out that he'd come up with that name for himself long, long ago. And Starr is his name, so we wanted to tie into his name, of course. And we said STARR, which is how he's been spelling his name, and have that be his system that encapsulates these 5 essences or elements. And so 5-star change, let me go and see if I can bring this up. Goodness, I'm having trouble grabbing this. There we go. Because I want to show them now what we came up with versus this right here. That was kind of like what your SIG file looked like, right? And then we went and we got a new logo and, of course, new branding. And the branding is 5-star change, when change means business. When change means business, right? Now, I take that a lot more seriously than a gentleman in a coat who's trying to position himself, but isn't really incorporating all of what you're about. Now, if you guys resonate with that on chat, you know, let us know and go ahead and echo what you think about that in the chat. So any thoughts on that, since I'm kind of sharing your story for you, but in context for them?
I think you hit it on the head. One of the things that you said is the depth of digging that you do. And if the person is willing to be dug, which I opened myself up to you and said, you can dig as deep as you need to, because my goal is the ultimate thing and not my pain that I might have felt having to expose things that I wasn't sure I wanted to share. But I decided I wanted to get to my core, and you helped me do that in such a way. As you go through this, it'll be pretty obvious how you were able to do that. And I truly appreciate, and this is just one little way of me giving back to you.
Oh, coming on board. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to share your story, because I think it makes a really strong point. You know, when we're inside, and this is a great image that really shows it, when we're inside the jar, we don't see the label so much. In fact, let me bring myself front and center so you see when you're inside the jar, it's hard to see the outside of the label. In fact, I've got a great picture to show that to you once I find it here. There it is. This really says it. So you're inside the jar, but you can't see the outside of the label. And I have that myself. That's why I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars with people to be able to have them reflect back. You know, and you can do that with your colleagues too. You can play off of each other. And we'll talk about ways that you can be able to do some of that research yourself, so you can find out what is that outside the label and have that reflected back to you. But we want to make sure we shine and we stand out. So we think that'll work, right? But it's not what you're really about. And I think now we've hit the nail on the head and had a wonderful shoot and what we've come up with. And I'm certainly a lot more thinking this is the man I would feel comfortable hiring, and with fun and personality too, because we didn't want to lose that part of you either, right? This fun and personality, and that's the man that we're going to be bringing in to the company. with his wisdom and his wealth of experience and knowledge. So, wow, DW, thank you for sharing. I might bring you back in along the way as we examine some of these other ways that we dug into these different elements. But I really appreciate you spending the time and being willing to be a great example.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm glad I could be.
I'm so glad. So I'm going to put you back into the chat room. And by the way, look at his tie. Now he can still stand out, but his tie has his logo on there. So, you know, he gets to have his fun and standing up, but in his own unique way. Oh, you have a star. Star cufflinks. That's great. Awesome. All right. Thank you, DW. We're going to keep moving forward, and I hope you stay with us on as we move forward too. Okay, great. Great. Can we see his new video? Yes, Sandra, I am just so bummed. I have it here. I'll try to play it, but I think it's not syncing properly. So it's not his new video. We just shot him last week. So it really was just taking one of his takes. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. I can read for you. I can look it up real quickly and read for you his script and how he now messaged himself. I really wanted you to see this because you're right. It wraps it all up. It's not without the green screen's not taken out. There's no graphics yet. We'll try, but I think when I loaded this into the system, it didn't load right, so it's out of sync. Let's see.
Did you know that 40% of the Fortune 500 companies that were around 10 years ago are no longer here? In today's rapidly changing world, that means if you're not changing, you're falling behind. Okay, you might say, let's tackle change.
So hopefully you get a sense of what he was saying then in there, because obviously it's out of sync. I don't know. I don't know. We're having a wonderful take day today. Yeah. It's just testing how much you guys are willing to stay in, which is great. So I appreciate that. Not seeing any images. Oh, Sandra, not seeing images? Oh, right. I get the feeling of polishing a gem, and the more hours of work and introspection you give it, the more you can share. Well said, Evelyn. Yes, indeed. Great. So, but you can see the difference, that kind of messaging, you know, he led with a statistic, which we'll get to in just a moment around messaging, but that's what worked for him. And then he talked, you know, in today's ever-changing world, however it was, if you're not rapidly shifting world, if you're not changing at warp speed, you're falling behind. You know, we kind of we'll do a fun thing with the video as we kind of, and have him come back. And then he speaks real clearly and directly. So we get to have, and that's a really great thing you want to think about. Let's jump ahead a little bit here. But you want to have something that will help it stand out, that'll capture their attention, not just in a statistic that has them go, whoa, but also in how you deliver it. So it's going to be fun and playful, or stand out with that little playful way that we just did with him. Okay, so let me go to our next slide. Now, someone said they're not seeing, oh, got the idea. Good, Sandra, thank you. Someone said they're not seeing images. Let me know that you are, or if you're not. Now let's go next to my next favorite story, and that will also share with you branding, strategy, messaging, and of course, video. So this is Arsen Marsubian. When he came to me, he was 77 years young. What's wrong?
Because we switched to the main camera and then not back to the main camera. So it's not.
So you're not seeing any images?
I don't think so.
Oh dear. Okay.
Let's just check this one.
Poor Bob. He's been back and forth. This is Bob, everybody.
No, my hair's all
my
messed
hair.
up. Nope, you're all right. They should be seeing it. Sorry, false alarm.
Okay, well, okay, you guys just got to keep letting me know if you're seeing anything, okay? Let's go right back to this. Let's dive on in here. Okay, so Arsen. Arsen was 77 years young, right there, when he came to us. And he was like, okay, he was one of those seminarites I was talking about, right? He was bouncing from seminar to seminar, training to training. He's still addicted because the energy is great, but you know, you got to take it and run with it, not just go there and go, I'm caught up in the energy, and then nothing gets done. You know, this is why I do what I do and why you want to get what you need to do and implement. And let me take this little point too. Be willing to implement imperfectly. Be willing to get it out there, and you can shift along the way and up level along the way, but get it out there. Granted, you know, and be careful. Bad video would repel or something, but you can get it out, not the most perfect way, but enough to where this works. I feel good enough about this. Good enough is good enough. get it out there, and then work on up-leveling to that perfection, okay? But what's wonderful about Arson is he goes, all right, I've been 10 years going back and forth doing all these different seminars, information. He spent so much money and so much time and was a wheel spinner, hadn't gotten much further. And he said, it's time to either cash in or check out. And so he said, I can either do it on, I used to sell life insurance, so, and I still do every now and then. So you can do it on life insurance. We can do it on, I'm selling, he's doing a direct sales company. He said I could do it on healthy chocolate because he had this healthy chocolate he wanted to put out there. Or, you know, I'm thinking about writing this book. Started writing this book about, you know, having the added about having a good attitude no matter how you're aging. I went, that's it. Be about ageless attitude. Give them that umbrella, that entryway into you. And from there, they can learn these other elements. From there, they can learn about your life insurance, which we can tie into ageless attitude. That, you know, because obviously life and living long and living healthy, you know, obviously, right? We can certainly tie that into healthy chocolate, but lead with ageless attitude. Okay, so that we made that decision with Arson. And then Arson, when he came into studio, he was doing what I don't want you guys to do, and we will take you through a formula to help you remove this if you have this going on. But he would get in front of an audience or camera, and suddenly this wonderful high personality, great energy, he became the expert. Suddenly put on his expert hat, an expert coat, and talk seriously and talk like you're going to take me seriously. And so now you know that I mean business. And no. Oh my goodness. Oh, no, we want to feel, we want to experience that vivaciousness, that bon vivant. We want to experience that ageless attitude, right? So we said, you know, I had to work with him. It took me a few hours in studio to bring that out of him. Sometimes I'll do what I have to do and get it till line by line. Finally, we got it, you know, and he was working it. Now, it doesn't normally take that long, but with him, he got so programmed in his head. So when he started slipping, I had to bring him back, you know, into that personality. And then you're going to see by his messaging what how he hooks you, and you get to learn all about him and have you hooked into what he's about in the first 30 seconds, really the first 10 seconds, okay? And I'm going to show you what you can do for yourself in messaging coming up in just a bit to share that part of it too. But first, here is Arson's video.
Regardless of your age, you want to be living your life like this or like this. I'm Arson Marsubian, 77 years young. I've had 5 heart surgeries. I've had bankruptcies. I've had divorce. And I've had a series of really great career changes and successes. And the one thing I've learned is that life is a series of choices. You can either cash in or check out.
Yay, Arson! The crowd goes wild for Arson. So did you see, he did the technique, and we'll go back when we get to messaging. I'll show you different techniques in the first 10 seconds of how you hook them. But he did this technique that we call the this or that technique. Well, he did this. We came up with it for him. But you basically illustrate, like in the infomercials, do you want to be like this or do you want to be like that? So do you want to be scrubbing the floors and it takes you 30 minutes and it's dirty and it's horrible and it's in black and white, right? Or do you like that? And she's just pushing the little broom along and it's cleaned up in 5 minutes. And, you know, you're showing the contrast of the problem and the solution within the first 10 seconds. This or that approach. That's what we did with Arson. He said, you want to live the rest of your life like this? And there's the couch potato. Or like this. And then there he is, being the ageless attitude, playing and having fun. And then we heard his story in like half a sentence, but enough to have you go, wow, and get that, right? So, and you can also see that now he's well positioned. Now that's all great, but tell us about results, because it's great. Now what does he do with it? Well, he didn't have a site. He had no website yet. So I want you guys to get this. He had no website yet. He hadn't even finished writing the book yet. He had just started writing the book. All right. But here he is. We got that video now. It just got done. It's a calling card video that captures what he's about, that communicates. And he is in the golf course, meets somebody, and they say, well, what do you do? And this is a great networking tool too, just whip out your video. He goes, well, watch this. And he pulled it up on his phone and showed it to the person on his phone. And do you know that from that encounter, he got a sponsorship deal and a bulk order of books, 100 books at one time, pre-sell order of books. So once he had it out, to be able to send them 100 books. Just amazing. That's the power of what you can do when you nail it down in this specific way, bring yourself to life, and have what captures your essence and let it do the work for you, right? Now, what's also great is ever since that, he's leveraged this video to the hilt. This was also about 4 years ago. So it was when we were just, starting up what we do. Now video quality is a whole other level. But he now has been on, multiple TV shows and interviews, and he's on his 3rd book, and he's got a mastermind coming out with a really big name in the personal growth industry. So he is doing great at 81 years old now. So that's pretty impressive, right? Okay, now I want to make sure this is landing with you guys, that you're getting value from this. I can go faster if you like, or is this helpful that I break this down for you with each one? All right. So let's see, next are strategy specific. So let's look at the strategy side of things over here. So when you look at strategy, you want to look, this is where we're going to really, really dive in. Make sure I don't jump ahead too fast. Now, it's not just for your video, but really for your overall business. But with the videos you create, you want to know the strategy too. And we want to know about that opt-in and what you're going to be able to sending them on your site, or basically your call to action. You might be using it as a video you send out, and the call to action is to visit one of your social media places, become part of a membership group, send them to a squeeze page that you're selling. There's lots of ways that you can, what your call to action is. But to get the strategy, you have to understand what's going to fit your lifestyle and what you want to do. Are you someone who resonates more with, playing on the blogs, or you're definitely going to be someone that's social media doing Periscope live stream or Facebook Live? I mean, what's going to be your style and your way, and how can you build it around it that's going to be in harmony with that? Like, if you don't want to be doing a group online coaching, then don't even think about it. Then don't even follow that. If you don't want to be doing the big masterminds that you charge for, don't do that. Now, as a speaker, because I know we have some speakers from our Power Women Speakers Association, it's really smart. And even if you're not a speaker, and you're, if you want to be out there with interviews and other ways that you can monetize, it's really smart to think about that you'd like to have a program that lives as what we call evergreen. So it's whether that's a $500 program, a $300 program, or a $97 program. 97's a hot number. But have a program that might be a video series that takes even deeper your concepts, your key concepts out of your keynote, that goes even deeper for people to implement. For DW, his strategy was he was driving them to a quiz, and they could find out what shape they are and how they handle change. And to recognize that there's a process, his 5-star change formula, that if they understand how to integrate that within their business or in their life, that's going to make a difference for them in their success. And how important it is to be aware of what pitfalls come up for you as you encounter change. And change is the new constant, as I like to say, right? So that was for him. Now, his free taking this quiz and them getting their results, of which we gave videos for each part of that, is what we created. But once they took that quiz, they were then directed, if they wanted to this paid program that made sense, because they're invested in, he knows this is going to be of value to them. And also when he speaks and he's at the end, he doesn't have to just sell a book in the back. He can sell as a package this video series and a book, and have a little pop-up stand that says what he's selling, or even pre-arrange with a company that they're going to give that to all their people and license it. So to think of what is it that you're wanting to create, that you're going to make available, and what that free offer is, that will then lead to paid. And so it can be a webinar, it can be an ebook, it can be a quiz like with DW, it maybe a video or audio series. Like, for instance, I've had plenty of people, let's say what DW could have done is taken his STAR formula and it would have touched on each one, STARR, and maybe as soon as they signed up, they got their first module, the S, and it told them that, which stands for strategy, coincidentally, and it would tell them the broad stroke of what that stands for and what they need to be aware of. And then if they want to go, then they get the T and the A and the R and R, and following in the autoresponder sequence. An autoresponder sequence means the email follow-ups that come afterwards. So it keeps people engaged and keeps them opening their email, it keeps them wanting to learn more. And it lives on his site. So it's also great for SEO. Okay, so there's many ways it all ties in together. That's starting to get a little complicated. You don't have to worry about it or think about it, but just know it serves a lot of purposes. So he could do that and then have that be what leads them to the paid version of the STAR formula that really goes deep. Believe me, we were here in studio and it was in depth. That was great. So that you want to think about what you're going to lead to that be free that will lead to paid. Now, with Audra, I'm about to show you here, she came to us and she'd been in corporate and she was wanting to be a life coach, wanted to break out. And she had this wonderful personality and really funny way about her. And she had this idea that she wanted to do it around baggage claim, like claiming just everything, who you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, and being able to move forward and now achieve what you want, right? So claim was kind of what she was playing with. And she said she hadn't written the book yet. She just had some notes written down here or there. And she felt like she was not going to be able to really move forward until she had all that in place. We went, no. What you can offer is a 30-day challenge and have it be the claim challenge. You can send them to a Facebook group. That's free to set up. You guys can do that. And then on that Facebook group, you will once a week meet with them by phone. These days you meet by video. Don't do webinar, not this kind of video, but through Zoom or through all sorts of other ways that you can meet with the people that signed up for the 30-day challenge, or even just Google Hangout, you can broadcast it. But then you get to lead them through each week, each element of the claim. And at the end, if they want, then they can go into your 90-day group coaching package or your 90-day one-on-one coaching package. Or from there, they really learn what you're about, and now they want to bring you into their company. It depends on what it is that you do and what you want. So she thought, I don't have to wait till my book is written. It's like, no, just know what you're going to have your process be with CLAIM. And you're going to be able to learn all the more that will serve your book, how people are responding to it as you work with them. And it's going to be this free challenge that you then would later sell into the one-on-one coaching package or group coaching package. So, they get to, be a part of it, and part of the agreement is also, I'd love your testimonial at the end. You get great testimonials, great examples that you can put in your book. It's going to help your book. It's going to even write the book along the way. And by the way, I'm not seeing any comments in here. So let me just tune back in and make sure that you guys are hearing everything okay. Are you with me? We're good. Is this a value for you? I want to make sure that I'm tuning into your needs too. And I'm trying to keep my eye on the chat over here as I can. All right. So she was excited about that. Now, she came in, we created the most amazing calling card video for her. And of course, a video series that she gave folks and video product. And all these positioning videos, things I'll share with you that you can create. And she was off and running. In fact, she then now works for Tony Robbins' company and is so happy with that. She's kind of, building her company on the side, but getting to really enjoy doing what she loves. She got to leave her corporate job and be Audra. And she is just amazing. So here is Audra's video. Now pay attention to the hook question up front, how she's messaging, her personality, and all sorts of other things that we'll point out here.
Do you feel weighed down in your life and work? Dragging through your days instead of excited and passionate? All because you're carrying around a bunch of baggage you probably don't even know about. It's all in there. Every time you got gonged, meaning every rejection, every disappointment, every humiliation, everything that didn't work out for you? It's all part of the programming that saps your strength and keeps you playing it safe and not going for the things that you want in life. It's time to finally claim that baggage so you can drop it at the curb and claim the life you deserve. Hi, I'm Audra Irwin, the High on Life Coach.
There we go. Okay, ta-da! It keeps going, but so isn't that great? She just does such a beautiful job of connecting. We brought that out. Even Audra, she had stage fright, so she's shy. And once you bring it out, it's amazing how she comes to life. And you can see the power of that messaging. Now, she got really playful. We designed saying, let's bring to life. So we're going to bring people inside what that feels like and have a playful way that they can tune into what she's talking about, which keeps people's attention. Because on the internet, they're here and gone in 5 seconds, if you let you hook them. So that I think is a really wonderful example of what's possible. Now for speakers, when you do your video series, let's say you're giving a free video series and you shoot a video series, which you could shoot on your phone if you need to, that just make sure that calling card video is professionally shot. And certainly, your speaker's demo needs to be as well. But when you do your video series, that you then either release, as a, let's say a free service as part of your opt-in, you want a seed in there about what you do. And so we'd be saying, so when I speak to organizations, I share with them blah, blah, blah. Or you want to talk about when you worked with so-and-so, this is what you did, and this is what ended up happening as a result. So I'm kind of way, I'm not seeding here so that you come do Launch You Now. If you do, that's awesome. Love to work with you. I can only do 1 or 2 people. I'm showing you because it so teaches you seeing this, right? The light bulb's going off by experiencing it, right? So you want to do that too when you do your video series. This CEO that I coached shared XYZ. And when you look at your process, it's really great to think of an acronym, tie it into what your brand is. For DW Starr was Starr, his name. For Audra, claim, because you want to be about baggage claim, so it was around claim, CLAIM. It doesn't need to be around an acronym. It can be the 5 Ps, right? It can be maybe even the steps align with one part of the word sounds similar, like aider, instigator, igniter, whatever. Some way that's going to land where people can easily remember your process or system. Okay. It can also be, we said the 5 Ps. Yep, from my books. Awesome. All right. Now here's a resource alert. Because I want to make sure I share these resources with you along the way. And this one is Done For You Solutions. Okay, this is a virtual assistant team that is highly trained, and there's a lot of virtual assistant teams out there, and they are not trained at a certain level, or not paid at a level that would be motivating to them. And so you have issues. But this team, we've had them build a site from scratch in 4 hours. They do it, and you also rent the whole team. With this team, you get to rent everything. They do basically everything you need for your business, from the admin to customer service to graphics to setting up the sites. The only thing they don't do is actually writing copy for you. But other than that, and they assign you a project manager, and then that project manager will find the right person for whatever job you need. And I do it at 20 hours a month. And if I have some months where I haven't used them at all, and then those 20 hours just rolls over the next month, and the next month they're endlessly roll over if need be. And maybe one month I've used 80 hours, So what's great about that too is that it's this stable of folks that you can use. And I'll put that up one more time if you like, youroutsourcingteam.com. I'll be transparent that is actually an affiliate link, but I figure if I'm going to share them with you, well, then might as well make it an affiliate link, okay? But if you don't use them, find a team that you can be able to implement some of this detail work or admin work that's not your area of genius. Because I have noticed with clients that we'll make everything come together with them, but they have to take those next steps of implementation, and so do you, and especially if you're going to do it yourself. So get that support and that help with youroutsourcingteam.com. All right. Oh, and let me come over here. I might as well put this up here right now. This is just for those who would like to go ahead and have just a deep dive 1 hour. Let us meet with me for 1 hour. I will one-time discount it for that 1 hour, and we'll just laser in focus on you and whatever way that you want support. And there it is right there, your one-on-one Discover Success session. You use the code ICF, think of it for I Create Freedom, but you use that code and then that will discount it by 40%, actually 41%. So it'll take it down from $500 an hour, which is what I am. It'll take it down to $295 or something like that for 1 hour. And believe me, in that 1 hour, amazing what we can come up with and what we can tap into and be able to move you forward with. And if it's something we also want to investigate, whether launching now is a fit for you or not, we can know that, and at the end of the session, investigate that. But I want to put that up there for you so you can click on that. If that's something you want, you click on that, and where you go to, if you want to write this down or someone wants to write into the chat, write readyaimsuccess.com, readyaimsuccess.com, and that will take you right to the cart. Okay, I'm going to remove the offer so I can see your chat. Or can I see it over here? Let me see. Actually, I'll leave it up there as long as you can see your chat as well. Okay, I want to make sure you can see each other. I have a different way that I see things than you do, so I'm not exactly sure what you're seeing. Bob, can you bring me the cord to my computer? In all the rushing around. Let's see. It's in the living room.
What?
The cord to my computer. Okay. Off we go. Okay, so move on to messaging. Yes. So this is where we get to share with you some specifics on exactly what you need to bear in mind as you craft your messaging. Okay, so let's look at this. You want to tune into what is your unique differentiator, meaning like we were talking about with Carrie up top, who you saw. What was that about her that made her different than anybody else who talks about health and fitness? What is it that has her be the standout? And that was that she really addresses that toxic conversation that goes off in your head that stops you from taking the actions you know make the difference. And that's what the clients kept telling her. She kept hearing. So look for you. What are clients? Go back and even read your testimonials. Go back to 10 of your top clients and ask them, what is it that they see that has you stand out or that made the difference for you or that they think is different about you than others? We learned, well, I say we, because Bob and I initially did this together. Now I do this on my own the past few years. But when we first started, we did it together. And we learned that, wow, we're not just creating these strategically crafted message videos that will position and launch people. We're basically giving them business coaching and strategy coaching because you have to in order to come to that point. And Carrie, in fact, had told us when she gave us a testimonial, she said this was the best business strategy advice she'd ever received. And we realized, and business coaching, we're like, oh, we didn't even look at it that way. So that can help by hearing back from other people, because remember again that when you are inside the jar, you can't see the outside of the label. And so it helps to have people reflect that back to you. Also in the messaging, what's your background? You know, we talked about with DW, how he had throughout his life, from a young kid to a young adult to then an older adult, where he had brain trauma injuries. You know, and that had him have to learn to shift and adjust to change in a whole different way, and even how he uses his brain. The background with Gloria, in that she had all these different sectors that she worked with, from foundations to nonprofits to governments to universities. And so what can be the through line through all that? And you kind of look at it all and then you start seeing things that pop. What's your credibility? So what establishes your credibility? Well, for Gloria, she worked at the White House. Well, she's a Harvard business grad. Well, we want that front and center within what she does. You know, what's your credibility? You want to bring that to light. What results do you get for people? You know, if you want to be like this, so you want to be like that. With Arson, he was showing the couch potato, and then he showed himself going, woohoo! Well, basically, he's illustrating to you the results. Do you want to be just, I give up on life? Or do you want to be having fun? You know, make the rest of your life the best of your life, right? So that is what results do you get for people. And what's your unique voice? How do you communicate that? And as this says, and how do you communicate that? But really, your unique way that stands out. And this is real important. We'll get to this some more as we keep moving forward too. But you don't want to try to sound like someone else if that's not who you are. Don't try to be Tony Robbins if you're a Wayne Dyer type. You know, you want to honor who you are and the way it comes through you. Okay. So that's some of the messaging. Now I'm going to share with you those top 10 seconds. And this is great for your speeches, for your openings, certainly for your videos, at least those calling card videos. So in the top 10 seconds here, I'll get my computer back. If you're chatting, I'm not seeing it, but I will again. I lost power here, but it's coming back. Okay. So in your, where am I here? I've lost my space. Oh, I didn't share a resource with you. I'll share this other resource coming too. Okay, good. So in the 10 seconds that you have, and by the way, now they found it's more like 7 seconds, maybe even 3 seconds. So you don't want to fill up that space saying, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm la, 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 and I'm this, and I'm that. You want to pop out the gate, grab their attention right away. So it can be a compelling question that illustrates the problem. Like, did you know that it's not you, but actually that toxic conversation you have going on in your head that's standing in the way of your health, of your vitality, of whatever. That's like Carrie's thing, right? Or an interesting statistic. So DW's statistic was something to the effect of, did you know that in today that 70% of the Fortune 500 companies from 10 years ago are no longer around today? That means if you aren't changing in today's rapidly shifting world, you're falling behind. That's an example of using a statistic to immediately grab them. Then there's the this or that technique, and that is the arson technique that we did. That's, do you want to live your life like this or like that? You know, do you want to have to clean your floors with a sponge and bucket and dirty water, or do you want to do it where you just a push of a button? You know, show the problem and the solution all within the first 10 seconds. Or a bold statement, you could say, getting more. It's easier than you think. Some bold statement, some outrageous statement even. You know, something that's going to have them go, what? And then want to keep listening. Or an entertaining or funny or attention getting. And that could be you jumping sideways into, if you're a playful type of personality, and doing something playful with there. Or you saw with Audra, right? Entertaining, funny, attention getting. There she is packing her suitcase, and it's so overflowing, and it's in black and white, and it's so tough, but it's attention getting, and it's entertaining. And then she's banging the gong. It's this, it's that. So as you see all this, what could be possible for you? And this is going to be a great place to bring in some coaching, which I will in just a moment. Right now, my computer's still trying to come back. And I definitely also want to take your questions. In fact, let me see if I can see your comments. I guess we have some comments here. By the way, Bob, it's showing backwards. Let's see. Are we back? Okay, I'm not seeing your comments. Back to the chat. Oh, it was nice to meet you, Evelyn. Well, thanks for coming. I'm glad you have notes. A lot more too, so you can jump ahead from wherever you left off. Okay, great. It's showing backwards on here to me. Is it showing backwards on you? Okay, well, the slide's showing backwards for me, so I just want to make sure. Okay, good. And I was just tuning into your chat. Great. All right, so I want to also share this resource while my computer is still warming up, and then we'll get ready for, if anyone wants some coaching, what I want you to do is click on request to speak. I will be able to tune in and see that's you. No problems on your end. Thank you, Sandra. Great. Okay, good. Just on my end here. Whoa, it's a lovely tech day. So right now, this is free gig on Fiverr. And this way you can get, if you haven't heard about Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, this is not a affiliate link. It's just a way that you can get a free gig, and a gig is $5 each. Fiverr.com sells in chunks of $5 a piece. Any kind of service that someone puts out there. So everything from literally branding to getting your logo done. I'll show you some logos we did via Fiverr, to even getting, let's say, an opening intro on video done, to voiceover. In fact, Bob does amazing voiceovers on Fiverr for all sorts of companies and individuals. So you might want to check that out. And if you go to freegigonfiverr.com, click on that link and up will come Fiverr, and just create your account then and just sort through what you're looking for. Is it voiceover? Is it graphics? Is it a book cover? You know, whatever it is, you can get on Fiverr for $5. Now, they tend to add other chunks of $5 if you want it turned around in 24 hours or if you want it in a certain kind of file. But it's a wonderful resource, and if you use this link, once you order one of the gigs, one of your gigs will be free. At least that's what Fiverr told me, so let's hope that is absolutely true and accurate. All right, so I'm about to come back here and bring you up. Just getting, there we go. All right, so let's bring on a hot seat. I'm going to lower this. See who can get a hot seat. This will be fun. Who wants to come join me? Anything we've covered so far. So whether that's branding, strategy, or messaging. Okay, good. Let me go into the room. And I'm going to see. I don't have anyone who has their hand up. Now, I'd love to bring someone on. If you'd like some coaching right now, we'll dive inside what type of messaging is possible for you or strategy would work for you. If need be, we'll come back and tune in a little bit later. Start thinking about it now. What you need to do is press the request to speak button. Then it'll show me your hand is up. But I'm not seeing that. So I'm going to go back to the chat room. Okay, let's keep moving forward, shall we? And we'll come back to that. Okay, and then we'll also even play with you on how you connect on camera, how you connect on video, and how that works. All right, so let's bring this on up and go to our media section. So that's another element, is media. This is where we get to the meat of the media. Mapping out the media you need to get positioned. All right. Now here are different kinds of media that you need. Your calling card video, video series, video product, and I call this the meat XYZ videos. They're kind of shot, and I'll talk through each one of these. The video nuggets to SEO and position you, and videos on the fly. Okay. So first of all, we talked about the calling card video. That's the one I showed you of Arson. That's the one I showed you with Audra, where it encapsulates all that they're about, has a specific call to action to drive them to the next steps. Or maybe just that video that does the talking for you about what you're about. And by the way, as a speaker, you might want to think about creating the kind of video like a calling card video. Christine Hassler, who's amazing and is out there speaking quite a bit on millennials, but also on mindfulness and mindset. She has an amazing, and I didn't do this video for her, I don't know who did hers, but she has an amazing video that's a calling card video around her speaking to millennials, and she's talking right to the camera. She's addressing here are the problems. Here's what needs to happen. She's not even saying, now hire me as a speaker or watch me in action speaking. She's just talking right to them. So companies hire her to come in and speak and to consult off of this calling card video. So you might want to consider doing that. I've seen more and more people making those kind of videos. I'll be doing that for myself as well. All right. Now, let me also show you as far as media and the kind of media to create. If you do green screen, you can put yourself into any kind of set or scenario. And here we have Marilyn Santiago, who was in Hong Kong. She was on the other side of the world. I coached her via Skype as she shot this in a local studio that had green screen. And then we got to, afterwards, I got the footage back from her and then, had my team produce it. But we put behind here this kitchen, and it has depth, so it looks like she's really standing in front of a kitchen, but she was just standing in front of a green screen and try to show. I can show that video would play. Here we go. This is what a green screen looks like. That's DW standing in front of a green screen, but later, who knows what we'll put in front of it, behind him. Okay. Now, when it comes to graphics and your logo, I want to look for Marilyn's. So I give you an example. Let's see, where is her? I had it all ready to go. Oh, there it is. Okay. Thriving Moms. And that was another one for branding. She knew she was a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. She stepped down to be a mom, but she realized being a mom is like being a business. And if you're not careful, you could lose yourself, and how you need to take care of yourself and your family and continue to thrive within handling these kind of shifts. And even if you haven't been a CEO, just as a mom, how you can look at handling the business of being a mom like a business, so you can be organized, so that you can have productivity, so that you can thrive. So that's how we came up with Thrive. Well, I came up with Thriving Moms for her, and thrivingmoms.com was available. And this is a logo that we had made on Fiverr, the fiverr.com. So I recommend that when you go to get logos made, try several different people who do logos to get a sense of which one you like. And then if they come close, then you can start tweaking and play with it, but don't just rely on one. And by the way, you have some e-coaching. Oh, Sandra, I see you now. Okay, I see you. Thank you. I didn't have chat showing on my end because it went south on me. I have chat back now, I promise. So I'm going to bring you up in just a moment, and then we'll figure that out. Okay, so thank you, Sandra. We'll do some e-coaching. Let me just finish this here. I'm going to give you where to go for. This is the guy who I now love what he does for my people. So that's fiverr.com biz logos. Okay, so if you go right, you can go directly right to him that way. Fiverr.com. You won't get your free gig on Fiverr that way, but that's okay. It's only $5, right? And then also for voiceover, want Bob to do your voiceover? Fiverr.com boundless. It's fantastic. Okay, and bring this up. And I'll bring you on in just a minute, Sandra, but I'm going to keep this covering the task that I have here. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh, right. Okay, let me talk through this so I continue moving forward. So we talked about that calling card video, and I touched briefly on the logo because you want to integrate it. You want it to look professional. At least that calling card video, make that professional and high-end. Everything else you can do on the fly, and I'll talk with you about that. But at least the calling card video, because it's so important. And in being professionally produced, you need to have an HD camera. Well, these days, the iPhone 6 Plus and 6 and some of the Samsungs have that HD camera. So you've got a little studio in your phone, right? Although it's great if you can really get it produced, at a actual studio or place where you invest the money because you know they've got it right. Because what happens is people go to shoot with the equipment. They even invest in a bunch of equipment, but they don't know how to use it right because it's got to be lit well. You've got the lights here. I will tell you where to get the lights, by the way. In fact, I'll write that in the chat in just a moment. I tell you where you can buy all the green screen equipment and the lights. But you got to know how to use it or it won't work or won't look good. So, but get those lights. Got to have a microphone so you have really good, clear sound. Very important. People don't realize the importance of audio. Green screen is great. So you can have this kind of background. You don't have to have that kind of background, but when you have a background like that, it all the more makes you look like you're in a studio. And you want to switch up shots. So you don't just stay one long shot the entire video. When you saw Arson's videos, when you saw Gloria's, when you saw Carrie's, you saw it do quick little cuts to the next thing and the next and graphics coming up. It's switching it up at least every 7 seconds in some way. Even if you're not really sure how, to the eye, there's something changing every 7 seconds, and that keeps their attention. Very, very important. Also, what we call dual connection graphics. That's when, as they're speaking, comes up also what they're saying. And that creates an anchor into visually anchoring in what's being communicated. All right. Then there's music, to have music underneath to really lift you up that way. All that together just is the bomb diggity. Like, for instance, again, we'll show the beginning of
Do you
August.
feel weighed down in your life and work? Dragging through your days instead of excited and passionate?
This is the entertaining.
All because you're
one.
carrying
To
around a
grab your
bunch of
attention.
baggage you probably don't even know about. It's all in there. Every time you got gonged,
There you go. That's all a green screen, by the way.
meaning every
Now
rejection,
look at that. There's a little spark there. We switch
every
up the shot. It's
disappointment,
closer to her now. And now
every humiliation,
closer. See how it's getting closer and closer. We're switching it up.
everything that didn't work out for you. It's all
And
part
now
of the
here comes
programming that
gravity.
saps your strength and keeps you playing it safe and not.
So that was just to be able to talk through all these subconscious things you may not be aware is what's going on as we make these types of videos here. Okay. So where is our little list here? There we go. Now, you want to offer a video series is a great thing to offer for your opt-in and make it a free video series. Again, the video series itself, you could shoot that on your phone and that can be more raw and real if you need to. It's great, especially if you're positioning yourself in a corporate marketplace or more high-end clients, if it's a high-end video series. But at least to begin, then do it on your phone, okay? And get that video series that you offer, module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It keeps them coming back for more. And you can go in further depth of each one of your points or part of your process, whatever that is for you. Video product, it's so important to make a video product because you want to do that ever important monetizing. Dun, 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 dun. Monetizing. We want to serve others. We want to come from an absolute place of giving, of support, of making the world a better place. But you won't be able to survive if you don't have built in place a way that you also monetize. And it's a fair exchange of energy. If you're coming from an integrity and heart-centered place, it is an exchange of energy and you're making a difference in people's lives. That's why I love doing what I do. Getting to see my clients soar and take off is amazing. Now, video product, we talked about, it could be following the steps of your processes, like for DW. It could be an in-depth webinar training that you have to pay for. A great price point that we have found has been $97, or maybe it's $297 or $197, that when you have a special interview or some special code brings it down to $97. But and especially when you're going to sell to companies in bulk, let's say if you're a speaker and you then want to license it, then you can bring it down in cost for them because they're going to en masse give it to a lot of people. So let's say they have 70 employees, and that's going to be 70 at 97, or instead of the 197. And it depends on what your price point wants to be. I can't go down and drill down on each little thing. It depends on each person and what reasons. But what's great about 97, if you're in the online marketing world in any way, when you are on a telesummit or doing an interview, often they're looking for people they can interview that they'll then have offer a product for $97 or $197. And 97 tends to be the magic number. Like maybe it's, again, $197 slash down to 97. So you want to have a product that can go, here's my product. I have one. Mine's wowyourspeakingwowyourlife.com. Wowyourspeakingwowyourlife.com. And you go there, you see all that I offer, and it's $97 instead of $497, of which I have charged $497 for it before. So I get to say that with integrity. Okay. So you want to think about making sure that you create that. Now, for your video product, I would highly recommend that be professionally shot. Obviously, that's what we do here with Launching Now. We'll map out all the different things we want to create, and video product is definitely part of that. Now, the next thing to look at is the Meet XYZ kind of videos. Super being of service equals super abundance. You're right. And DW, you're right. He knows the brain, and he wrote, our brains are very influenced by music and written images together. Love that. So now we're talking about the Meet XYZ videos. Now we did that with DW as well. Every VIP client, we do that. And you can do this for yourself. And this is great. Just set up the tripod if you need to. and look off camera. Put someone there, actually. Have them interview you. Or know that certain questions you're going to answer, and it's going to be sharing the private side to you or personal side to you, or maybe even just getting to tune into just you being you side, okay? Not just you talking to a camera. So we want to hear about your family. We want to kind of peek behind the scenes into your life and your business. What got you started in XYZ, whatever your business? What got you started working with horses? If we were talking to Inga, who was here with us earlier, right? What got you started with HR? Why is that important to you? You know, and you kind of, when you just are answering like you're in an interview, there's a real fresh feeling of authenticity that comes across. And it looks like a documentary because you're slightly looking off to the side. And I'm going to show you an example. This is an entertainment lawyer, Robert Profundi. Love him. Wow. And he also wrote a book to help child actors be safe in this industry and what parents can be aware of. And he got a lot of press for winning a big case with the child star. Anyway, he's wonderful. So we shot it in front of green screen, and then funnily enough, we put him in front of a green screen studio as one of his backgrounds for this one. But it's like we're interviewing him on set. So check this out.
I've been a lawyer for over 25 years. And prior to the year 2000, I mostly handled all kinds of civil litigation, very complex civil litigation. So making the transition, all I had to do was learn about entertainment, which was a big job. But having the agency was great because unlike most lawyers, the thing I love is I really know the business from what I like to call the street side. I understand the actors, I understand the actresses, I understand what they go through, I understand what concerns they have.
Okay, so we'll go ahead. You don't need to hear his whole video, but you can look him up on YouTube. He has all sorts of videos. We did all sorts of positioning videos, and this is what I love to call the video nuggets. Okay, the video nuggets. Did I list it that way for you here? I did. Video nuggets to SEO and position. So the Meet XYZ videos are also video nuggets. The video nuggets now would be potentially talking about your specific area around one point. Let's see, what would be an example for when you encounter, let's see, I'll do around speaking. What happens when 5 minutes before you go on, you got some bad news and now you're knocked off kilter and you got to get right back on point. So what happens when you aren't in state, you need to immediately get into state, let's say. Then I would address that in a little 1 minute to 3 minute nugget where I give them some advice addressing that one point. So zero in or dial into a specific point of your area of expertise and answer. And where you can come up with these is what are questions you get asked all the time that you answer all the time, frequently asked questions. Here's question number 3, question number 5, or like we did with Robert, we just put up the little title of what the question was, and then he was addressing it. Now you can do your nuggets as if you're just answering it like an interview, or you can do like you're talking to the camera, and we mix it up. We do both, and they're very effective. And what's great about it is it establishes your expertise. It populates your videos out there, so more chance for being seen, but also for SEO. You have them live on YouTube or Vimeo if you want, but YouTube's better for SEO. And also have it be on a backlink on your page, so that it can tie back into your page. Have it be, we create an online media kit for our clients. So we also have a whole, basically acts like a whole site with what your messaging is about and all the things you'd want to give to media or to meeting planners. And we have your one sheets, you have your interview questions, you have all your videos in one place. So people can just go through and see it all. And you might want to have a media section on your site that has these type of videos where you're answering these kind of questions. It's very, very powerful. It shows that you've been around, shows that you are really well established in that expertise, and acts great for SEO. All right. Now, another thing to create with video nuggets, besides what you do in studio that's professional, that establishes you that way, are videos on the fly. So you're in the grocery store. Let's say I'm in the grocery store. Here's my phone. And I just saw an incident happen where a little boy gave a note to a soldier to just thank him for his service. And he just thanks him because he misses his dad, whatever. And it was so touching. And so I'm going to capture on the fly. I could wait till I got home and talk about it into my phone, or I can do it on the fly there. Okay, it's Lynn Rose. I'm here at the grocery store. And I just saw the most amazing thing. This little boy, he was 7 years old. He went up to a soldier and he had this little handwritten note and he wrote, "Thank you for your service. I miss my dad and I just wanted to thank you because we appreciate what you do." You know, and it made me cry and made me think, wow, how often do we actually acknowledge the people around us for what they do? How often do we take the time and reach out, maybe even to a stranger, to acknowledge them for the service they give or for how they show up? I mean, whatever that is. So I'm giving you an idea of doing something on the fly. You find a moment that just happened and turn that into a metaphor and address it. And you can address it later. You can think back in your past about something you can talk about for metaphors and just shoot on your phone. Raw videos like that are great. And you can populate a lot on YouTube with that. You just really want to have some professional videos as well. That's very important. My change moment was Nelson Mandela's inaugural address. Wow, DW, that's great. Okay. So as we continue moving down the line here, yeah, video product, good. So resources for you. Let me type this into the chat. This is where I have gotten equipment and recommend people get equipment if they want to for themselves. I have plenty of clients who've gotten their own equipment. And once they're here, I show them how to make sure they get the right lighting, because again, that's so important. And then you can order equipment from kz.com, and it's wholesale. You can also go to Amazon and eBay and you'll find all sorts of deals there. Really, really cheap from what it used to be. Now, what I think is great to have, and for certain videos, it's important, like we really craft those calling card videos. So we use a teleprompter. And if I could point this, I would, but I don't want anything to go wrong with technology anymore. So we have a teleprompter. But you can have a teleprompter on your computer. It's not quite the same, but you could do that with your webcam and be able to, there's all sorts of teleprompter software, and be able to then read that way and have something, if you have something that you want to read. Okay, so there's many ways that you can be able to work around. Again, though, do give reverence to and importance to getting something really well done and professionally shot, and have outside people help you with getting the correct ideas of messaging and strategy, because when we're inside it, remember, when we're inside it, it doesn't work as well. So have other people reflect that back to you. All right, now let's see. Here's another example of of why we must have the importance of the before and after. And this is the before and after in whether you come across professional or not. So here's someone who had her calling card video that she did on her own. Well, thank God she did it. She at least put something out. And then finally, once we shot in studio, and I'm kind of just showing a little snippet at the after, but you'll see the drastic difference in how she communicates who she is. Okay, so here's the before and after.
I'm here to talk to you today about how your thoughts and feelings may be getting in the way of you living your best life. You may be afraid that it's too late to find happiness, that you're feeling overwhelmed.
All right, so now the after, total difference. Here we go.
I want to give you as much as I can to help you see that now is the best time of your life, and it is your turn.
Yay! So you can see the power of that, right? Oops. Oh, there we go. Starting again. So you see the power of that difference, right? Who do you feel that is right there with you, that is, you can play at that high level, that has together what you need? I mean, she looks media ready. She is. And also how she came across to the camera, what she said, what the messaging was. You see the drastic difference? I'd love to, see your input in the comments below too. Okay, so please feel free to comment if something hits you or as you have questions, okay? Now let's talk about, you do all this, you get all this media, you maybe buy the stuff, or even worse, go into a studio, but you aren't connecting with the camera. That is a big issue. And it is something that anyone and everyone can get beyond. Believe me, I have worked with people that you might have said were a hopeless case, and they aren't. Inside is a spark that just needs to be brought out, and everyone has their own unique spark. But in order to convert, you must know how to connect. And when I say convert, I mean convert into bookings, convert into interest, convert into inquiries for media, to convert into then opting in, to convert into sales. You must know how to connect because they feel you. They feel your heart. They just feel how you're coming across. They see, are they authentic or are they stiff? And unfortunately, a lot of people get in front of a camera and they clam up. Maybe even great speakers, when they're in front of a camera, suddenly they lock up. Now, if that's you, and I don't know here if we have someone who's like that, if that's you, I invite you to think about the lights in a studio in a different way. Think about the lights. Like I have lights all around me right now. I wish I could show you. But I think of it like the light of God pouring into me and then out. And so instead of feeling like I have to make it go away and try to get around the lights, I invite it in and I feel like it energizes me and elevates me and amplifies my message. So if you feel that way too and translate it that way for yourself, it's going to make a difference in how you connect. Also, when you see this little lens on the camera, it's not this plastic thing, because often that's the problem. People feel like it's static. They're not getting the feedback, the energetic feedback of a live audience. But you have imagination. The imagination processes just the same like it's happening. They've done tests on athletes who, as they are running, they do their training. They've tested their brain, what is going on and firing the brain, how the brain's responding. And then they have the athletes sit down and just imagine themselves, vision themselves doing that run exactly like they just did it. And the brain is responding exactly the same as if they're actually doing it. So the same with looking at a camera lens. Imagine it's that audience that you feed the fire off of. Now, you might be someone who is shy in front of an audience or camera and everything, and that's fine too. There's other ways. I mean, I imagine at least in a one-on-one conversation, you at least can be able to connect. And even if you're shy, you know how that is. That's how you are. That's part of who you are. That's part of maybe the loveliness of you, right? So when you think of looking at a camera, it's that person's eyes that you want to help. It's that client that you just love, who got so much from the work that you did and that so needs this. And you want to talk to that client that way. Or when you look at that camera, you might see, if you're a speaker and you get your energy from a big audience, it's almost like a laser funnel that then goes out into a big theater where there's thousands of people watching it. So you're right there with thousands of people cheering you on, So there's a way to translate in your head that will have you click into that. Now, there's other ways too that I'm about to share with you that will bring it to life. Okay, and I'll reference back to it, but I first want to show you an example of there are no hopeless cases. This beautiful woman, Sean Cox, and she came to me, actually a friend brought her to me saying, can you please help this woman? Because she had just spent thousands in the studio. And, the message fell flat, but also how she showed up in studio just went, wow. And so they brought her to me to just help coach her to come to life in studio and also just, shift up things. This was actually what got me going into launching now. I thought, total makeover and amazing. Oh, yay, right, Sandra. I can't wait to work with you. So I'm going to show these things and I'm going to bring you on, Sandra, because then who knows what aspect you want to get coached on, okay? And anyone else, if you think you want to get coached, you can click on request to speak and it'll raise your hand and then I'll be able to know and bring you on. Okay. Second. Oh goodness, I'm having issues with the computer. Okay, there we go. Thank you. All right, so here is the before. This was what was shot that she'd spent thousands of dollars on. And by the way it ends is exactly the way it ended.
To make it saleable. Banks and lending institutions choose me to sell their REO properties because I have an excellent reputation with asset managers, real estate agents, and contractors. I have enough stress getting rid of these properties. Contact me today so I can be your solution.
No. after you saw that and it ended that way, so I can be your solution. Would you want to reach out to her and hire her? Do you have any established trust that she works with commercial banks for real estate? So like really high end even. So that didn't come across. And I think she had so ingrained in her head that you have to be like this to be taken seriously, but also she was definitely terrified about speaking in front of a camera or to an audience or to presentations. So we worked with her and we worked with the speak formula on overdrive, which I'm about to share with you, that speak formula. Okay. And this is the vast difference. So watch the difference this makes. And also, obviously, what she ends up offering. Now, she obviously could stand to have a little bit more work if we could play with her some more, but drastic difference. Okay, here we go, the after.
Hi, I'm Sean Cox. I have 23 years experience selling real estate. I'm a third-generation realtor. I love real estate. So if you want the results I can provide for you, contact me and I'll get right back to you. I can get your property sold.
Yay! I can get your property sold. And that big smile and that energy, and she is speaking into their listening as far as messaging. Ah, huge difference, right? Well, what happened there? So I'm going to share with you some of that and the speak formula, and then we're going to bring on Miss Sandra. Where's the door? Oh, wow, right? I know, amazing. So, so let me get to that speak formula here. One moment, I'm looking for it. Oh, down here. That's why. Okay, the speak formula. So, of course, it follows along the acronym of SPEAK. SPEAK. Oh, by the way, let me just put this up for people. I'm going to put this back up one moment because I do want to make available, if you're wanting that one-on-one session, to be able to key into your essence or discover what's possible for you in any of what we're talking about. I will take on coaching right now with Sandra once we're done with Speak Formula, but I also want to have that there so that you can click on that if that works for you. And readyaimsuccess.com is also where you can find the link. All right, so Speak Formula. Let's talk through this. We'll talk through this fast and then we'll get to just see it in motion. So S is to smile when you talk. Smile when you talk. Now, do you remember our lovely Sean? She was like, bang, and I'll be your solution. I mean, she was an extreme, right? But her face was so flat. And especially on video, you have to elevate it. Sometimes it feels odd to be smiling, but that's even sales 101, right? That lifts the energy. It creates connection. Now, you don't want it to be a false smile. But sometimes you think smile because we think we're smiling, but it's not informing our face. It's not reaching the face. So you almost sometimes have to physically do it. And then that starts getting you into that mode. It helps starting getting you into that energy. There's other ways too within the Speak Formula, okay? And it translates differently. It might feel weird to speak, but even if it's something serious, even if it's something really important to talk about, that smile makes it all the more deliverable. That smile makes someone be able to feel the impact all the more. Can you close the door, sweetheart? I'm sorry. Cool. So smile when you talk. And you could see the difference with Sean. Her smile, when she lit up, she was just so full of life, right? It was unbelievable, the difference. And we had to work at that. But you can see why that makes that difference. Okay, so that smile when you talk. Now for the P is to play with how you say it. Play with how you say it. Yes, so important. So what I mean by that is you have a sentence you're going to say. You want to think about being a playful energy with it, your own style playful energy, but think about when you're playful, how that playful energy is. But also think about the words aren't just straight ahead. You're going to maybe draw them out more, bring them up, or bring the tonality. You don't want to get in your head about it. There's people that say, think about that. But once you have that authentic energy of playfulness, it translates in how you speak. Like right now, I said authentic energy of playfulness. It translates in how you speak. So now imagine if I didn't say it playful, I would have said I don't even know what I said, but I said that authentic energy of playfulness, it translates in how you speak. It falls flat. You don't feel it. And especially if you want to keep their attention on video, because they're on the internet. They can, jump off any moment and go to a million, or I should say trillion other choices. So you want to keep that engagement. And that's going to make you feel better too. It's also going to make you feel calmer when you allow yourself that authentic playfulness. Play with how you say it. Instead of play with how you say it, it's play with how you say it. You see how that works? Okay. Hopefully that's translating for you. And when we bring Sandra on, maybe she wants to play with this too. Now, E, the energy with which you speak. That means that passion, that fire, that connection, that conviction. There are some political candidates who shall remain nameless, I won't name. But if you were to look at what they're actually saying, they're not really addressing specifics. They're not really, they're actually even saying a lot of gibberish, but they're saying with such conviction and such passion and fire and stirring up the fire of everyone that people are following along. And it's because of this particular factor. So please use your force for good. But the energy with which you speak, that passion, that aliveness. All right. So if you continue to hold that passion, if you need that passion to think, that energy that you feel, like get yourself in that state when you feel about that person's life you got to transform because of the work that you do, or that aliveness and that excitement that you feel, and just really get yourself into that conviction place. There's always going to be sides where people doubt, or they have questions, or they're going to put something down. That's going to exist no matter what you do or how you do it. So clear your mind of that. Laser in focus from your heart to the heart of who you serve. And then when you're looking in that camera, it's looking at that person's eyes, and think of an actual person, someone that you already know, love, and trust, that you can help, and that you have helped, and get that fire and that excitement. I know when I did TV hosting, I had to break out of my own little robotic way. Because I used to do TV hosting like this. By the way, do not hold your hands like that. There's a lot of training that tells you that, but that's how you can tell right away if someone's not being authentic. You can just hold your hands naturally, okay? There's ways to hold them without this thing. But I was like, hi, I'm Lynn Rose, and welcome to ESPN. You see, on that, so I talk this way. And by the way, even for TV hosting, all of that has changed. And I've done TV hosting even recently for some shows. So they want a conversational style. And same thing here on video. You want it to be a conversation. It's a one-on-one conversation. Same thing when it's with an audience. It's a one-on-one conversation through one person's eyes at a time. The camera's eyes, one person's eyes at a time, a one-on-one conversation. So with the energy, they told me, and looking at the camera, to imagine it was my sister, whom I love so much. And to even at first say her name so I really could drill into what the copy I was having to read. Welcome to ESPN. So I go, welcome to ESPN, Molly. It's Lynn Rose, and I want to welcome you here, Molly. Thank you, Molly, for being a part of it. Molly, coming up, we have done a lot. So it helps you translate into the conversational piece. So just at first, practice it with saying their name over and over again within what you want to say. And then now just think it in your head. And then that has you all the more tune into and tap into that fire and that energy that you need. So hopefully that makes sense to you there. All right. I'm going to remove the offer here so I can see your chat. Okay, good. Back to chat we go. And bring up the A of, let's see, we're on E, and now is this A? Yes, to authentically amplify. Authentically amplify. These all play together again, remember? So to authentically amplify, what I mean by that, I'm not on camera? Oh. Thanks, Sandra. I just now saw that. Thank you very much for reminding me. Let me come back for one moment. So now I am on camera. So I was saying, don't hold your hands like this. Okay? There's a lot of training that shows you that you have to stand like that. But really, you can just do it naturally. You can just hold them naturally. When you hold your hands down, they kind of fall naturally. You don't need to do that. That just flares that you've been overtrained. And when you speak from your heart naturally, you will automatically find things to do with your hands. You aren't even thinking about it. So this is, and I've worked, believe me, I've done these workshops, the Wow Factor workshops with people. We put this on its feet for years. And I see the most overtrained, stiff, whatever type of folks who, once they click into that feeling, it is amazing how the voice just, and the hand, it all happens naturally. Okay, so now you got to get back to see what I was talking about. Let me make sure I got it. E, energy with which you speak, and A, authentically amplify. So authentically amplify means that you want to beef it up, the energy of it just a bit. You has to become from an authentically connected place. But you want to beef up the energy, almost like a actor's exercise for being over the top. But it has to be from being authentically connected. So I mean, make it bigger than what you normally would do, or might feel a little uncomfortable to you. And that's part of playing with it. That's part of the energy piece. They all tie in together. But when inside your body, it might feel weird because you're not used to it. But on the other side, it translates so much more powerfully. And we've had that time and time again where the person who did it thought like, was that okay? And everyone's like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Okay. So if you think about Les Brown, if you know Les Brown, he has this wonderful expression. I'm going to do my bad Les Brown impression. He goes, you got to be hungry, right? You know, and I do that poorly. But if you were inside Les Brown's body doing that, you would think, whoa, that's too much. But no, Les Brown instead, he's considered one of the world's greatest of all time motivational speakers. And he's electrifying when you see him. And it's because he's got that authentically amplified way. Oh, it just elevates what you do. So instead of, maybe I would normally play with it and say it like this, then I would go, maybe I'd normally play with it and say it like this. But as long as it's amplified, and I'm not doing a good example if we bring someone on here to show you what I mean. But if you even look at what we did with Sean and her before and after, that was authentically amplified and not translated, including arson. You know, we had to really play the speak formula with him here. So that was A, and now to K is to know who you are. Know who you are. And that means, again, don't try to be like Tony Robbins if your style is more like Wayne Dyer. Yes, authentically amplify it, play with it, all that. Wayne Dyer has learned how to do that. Wayne Dyer in the beginning, he just walked from one side of the stage to the other, barely looked at the audience, was a little hunched over, kind of mumbled through his words way back in the day. Now he's learned about standing in one place more, and unfortunately we lost him this past year, but standing in one place, looking in the audience's eyes more, and definitely playing with what he says more. And as a result, his message has translated all the more. But what was great was even when he was doing it in the way that you would say, breaking every cardinal rule, he was connected to what he was saying, so it still worked. But if you want to elevate that impact and elevate that connection, you need to take on the speak formula. Smile when you talk. Play with how you say it. Energy with which you speak. A, authentically amplify. And K is to know who you are. So be and honor how your style is. And it also means, like this picture represents, like that kitten looking in the mirror and there's a lion looking back. But there's so much more to you than you even know or are aware of. There's so much more available to you. I have seen, like I said, Sean, who would have thought we could have brought out from Sean in just one little session in the studio, right? Sean was the one that was really serious and then came to life. So that's so possible. There's so much more available to you that you may not even be aware of. All right, so bear that in mind. Now, we have so much more happening up ahead. Let me go. That was great. I'm so glad. Oh, I love that shot. Oh, me too. All right, Sandra, I want to bring you on now. Your hand is up. So one moment, though. Let me just make sure I get this for people who want that. As I was told last time, make sure to keep it up, and I have not been doing that. There we go. So, Sandra, I am going to bring you on, I think. Did this work? Oh, let's hope you have a headset and everything else. It's coming. It's coming. Oh dear. All right, we're waiting for it. We're waiting for it. Sometimes it takes a little bit as someone's coming in. She has to give permissions. She has to sign all sorts of things. So also, if you, let me go see if there's anybody else who wanted to put their hand up to be coached. Just Sandra, no problem. Okay. Let's see what else I can share with you here. Oh, good. We're almost at the end here. So hang in once we bring Sandra on, and then also any questions while we're waiting for Sandra to get in. I hope she gets in. Come on, Sandra. She's trying. She's trying. Okay. Well, those are key elements: branding, strategy, messaging, and media. And the fifth, how you connect and monetizing. All right. So I may get to my other shot here. Un momento while we wait for Sandra to get and joining us. Are you there yet? Let's see. I don't see Sandra. Oh, I think next time what I'm going to do is decide ahead of time who'd like to be coached and bring them in, because this technology, the next time I'll probably do a blab on this. So, stay tuned and we'll make sure to do that for you. Okay. Oops, we already showed that. Excuse me. Yep, gonna up-level your game, skyrocket your business. I'm trying to find the thing I wanted to show you. Okay, here we go. So this is the one-on-one session. I just want to explain about that again. It's already up. If you want to click on it, you can have 40% off only one time. I don't. Sorry, you can send me the link again, Sandra. So put your hand up. Click on respect. Request to speak, all right? And then I can bring you in. I think I have to return, I'm going to return you to, and then we'll see if we can get you in. So what will happen is you'll then be taken inside the Google Hangout room, and I'll be talking you through, you have to give permissions for your camera and your video if you haven't already, and that'll bring you in. Let me show you guys this. Is a moving logo opening, okay? And you can get these at videoblocks.com. I have a membership there. Or if you go to fiverr.com, you can then, they already have their versions they can use, and you can make them create something around what you have coming up, a little opening intro or closing intro like this. All right. You see how it's moving? It's launching now. Ta-da. All right.
Launching a brand.
Oh, sorry. So that's a really great thing to have for your video. This branded opening into your videos or closing out of your videos for a call to action for your site or your logo. So Sandra, there we are. I got scabs on my face. I was hoping we could do it with just your voice. Well, you can. You can, Sandra, what you can do is mute the camera and just, oh, I'm so sorry, Sandra. Well, you can be off camera and we'll just listen to your voice. And you can even mute the camera so we just hear your voice, okay? And if need be, we'll try to do this via like a question on chat. Love to talk, not it. Love to talk, not it though. Okay. So hopefully this brings you in, and you can be off camera so we don't see you. You can also mute the video so we just hear you. All right, and we're going to bring you on. And as you're getting on, I'll just let folks know. So again, if you see, wow, let's cover all this. We cover branding, getting to know that umbrella that you house everything that you're about, and all is a way that ties in together. All right, so we saw how with Gloria and the branding that it was high impact leadership was the through line for all the various ways that she played. Okay, that's one example for her. Now, strategy. What's your strategy to lead them into where they're going to opt in and lead them into the paid work or services that you provide, certainly for your speaking bookings or for your paid product that you offer or your coaching program, whatever that might be, whatever it is that you do. For our lawyer, it was for his lawyer services, or it might have been for someone's book. There's so many ways that it works, but you want to get clear on the strategy on where you're guiding them and have your free offer be something that's relevant to what you're about that will lead them to the paid work, but also have that free offer be something they want. It can't just be sign up for my newsletter. It can't just be, oh, here's this article. It needs to be something very strategic that will lead them down the path. And even for booking gigs, let's say for the MC thing, as I also MC gigs, if I wanted to, I could create my own MC page that's only around MCing. And I'm contemplating doing this, by the way, although my focus right now is the keynoting. But I couldn't have that just around MCing. And the opt-in could be the top 5 mistakes MCs make that you want to be aware of, or no, what was it? How to vet out the MC that you want. Make sure your MC does these top 5 things or something. And you list then these top 5 important aspects for meeting planners to know, maybe even make a video around it. And the meeting planner is going to want to look at that. And what it does is it positions you as the choice because you do these 5 things, right? So you want to think about what you want to offer them that could then lead them to where you want to go. That's strategy. So branding, strategy, and messaging. So you want to grab them right away. You want to grab them with the what's in it for them. And by the way, Sandra, we haven't brought you in yet. So if you're having issues, I'm going to bring you. I'm going to give it just a little bit more time, but if you don't make it in, then maybe you can type in what your question is, okay? And you're certainly welcome to arrange to have the one-time one-on-one session at a discount, and we can dive in deep, although I really love to be able to do it right now in front of everyone and share whatever way, okay? So branding, strategy, and messaging. Grab them in that first 10 seconds, make sure it's about them, all the different ways to do that. Hopefully you took notes on that. And make sure you keep tying it into them. We know this in the speaking business, but this also applies to the videos that you create as well. And then that brings us to the videos you create, the media that's going to support it all. So you want the type of media that positions you with that calling card video that nails down who you are and what you're about. You want to, oh, that's okay. What if I call you on the phone? Okay. Oh, I see. If I could play it on speakerphone. Well, that's interesting. Okay. If you want to give me your phone number, Sandra, let's do that. I'm going to put you back into as an attendee. Give me your phone number, Sandra, and let's have a fun way that we play with that, shall we? Speaking of playing with something, that's interesting though. Do you feel comfortable giving your phone number? It's just us here that's going to see it for now. But then once it's replay, I think the chat goes away at that point. It's up to you if you want to do that. Okay. She's comfortable. 310-658-8406. Okay. Let me finish my thought though. So I wrap this up and then we'll bring you in. Okay. So messaging. I was tying all that in and making it about them. And then, the media. That's where I was. Thank you. So about the kinds of media that you create, that calling card video that captures what you're about. The video series that maybe you offer as a free offering that, wow, that's a lot to give for free. Yay. But that draws them into your world and that has them get to know you better, you establish all the more as an expert. They're going to want to book you as a speaker, see you on media, understand that you're the expert. So, and it also takes them deeper into what you're talking about. Or video product. So that video product that you create, you want to produce that at a high level. And have that be tied into going deeper within that area of expertise that you cover, that you offer. And certainly the XYZ videos, Meet XYZ, talking that takes us inside your world that you would populate on social media and on your site. And those video nuggets are huge. Video nuggets are everything. So those are one little aspect of your expertise you're going to touch on and create a bunch of 1 to 3 minute videos. This one is on this question that you hear a lot, the question about how do you handle nerves, right, when you go to speak. Maybe this question is about how do I have better lighting when I do it at my home in a corner? I don't know. But you would address each little question, and then that's going to become a video nugget. Right? DW had all sorts of video nuggets he addressed, and they were juicy and really took us inside his expertise. It can be sharing a story about a case study. That's another way to do a video nugget. What's a case study of one of your clients? And it illustrates what you want people to do and illustrates the possibility for them on the other side, or a story that you tell. And in that story, it illustrates the point that you're making. Oh, thank you, DW. You are so wonderful. All right, so that's the media that you create. And then, of course, how you connect. And I was sharing with you about the Speak formula and how important that is. And bearing in mind, of course, your monetization, because you want to be able to be ongoing. Even the foundations who give so much and they keep relying on donations, if they aren't self-sustaining as an engine to be able to keep driving what's needed to do the work they do, then they die out. And you're here for a purpose. You have a message to share. You have an idea that you want to see spark to life. You have audiences you want to reach. You have lives to impact. So you need to be around for as long as you're wanting to deliver that out here and live your purpose. Okay, so Sandra, this isn't Sandra Biskin? Oh my goodness. I didn't know it was that, Sandra. Well, I'm calling you, my friend. Ah, right. Here's Sandra.
Hello, it is Sandra Biskin.
That's hilarious. So you're gonna need to mute. Yeah, mute your computer.
What am I going to need to do?
Mute the computer.
Yes.
Okay.
Turn off my computer.
Just mute your computer. Mute the sound on your computer.
Great, done that.
Okay, good, fabulous. DW, what you need to do is on the upper left of that side area, you'll see where it says chat. Click on that, and now it will come down as the chat. Okay. He's saying he's not seeing the chat window. So anyway, hi, Sandra. I know Sandra. She's a real life friend. I didn't know that was the Sandra. Hi.
Yes, but she's talking to me now, and I'm not sure what's going on, so I can't hear it. My computer's muted. So.
But can you hear me on your phone?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, that's all you need to hear right now.
Great.
Awesome. Okay, so I love that you're coming and volunteering. And what is it you would want support with, or coaching, or something to look at? What area?
Okay, so I'm doing a 2-day seminar program in India that I'm facilitating, and I really have to do a video to a video that will show them what they're going to get and to let them know what the program's about and who I am. And I really want to do something that would get them wanting to come to this video because I'm in another country and they know nothing about me. So this would be a video where I would really have to do everything she just described. Really grab them in the first moment and really tell them what I'm an expert at, what I do, and what I offer them and what they'll get.
So you're needing to create a calling card video that nails down your essence, what you offer, what's in it for them, all of that. Now, is there a specific purpose in targeting this video? Like, are you leading them to an event? Are you leading them to work with you offline?
Yes, I'm leading them to an event, which is the event that I'm putting on in India. And also
In where? In where?
In India, in
Okay.
May.
Okay.
Yeah. But also it would be a calling card for any live event that I'm doing, which then once I've done the live event, I would like to have this video so that people look at it and go, wow, I really want to work with her. I'm a personal coach, and I do one-on-one coaching and I do group coaching. So that would be the idea of it.
Yes. So what I hear you say is like you're kind of trying to get something that can be the end-all be-all for everything. But if you're also wanting to specific laser it on India, there's two ways to go about it. Is to create a calling card video that captures your essence and what you do, and it shows how you work one-on-one with people, whether that's on Skype or phone or in person. It shows the story, where you came from, because Sandra has an amazing story of building one of the number one. She and her partner had created one of the top luxury spas in the world, and very, very much created around spiritual principles. And it was really an amazing place. So she's a very smart businesswoman too. So you want to kind of bring these elements that they get to see what you're about. So you touch briefly on your story, you touch on the elements of what you do, and then talk about, you do workshop, you maybe mention about your book too, and then talk about the workshops that you do. Now, what I'm saying is almost like the Gloria approach for you. So you're capturing the essence of what you're about. And then in the end, you could drive them to, now this is where you have to decide, make a decision about driving them to a conversation with you, or drive them to receive a free, free chapter out of your book. I think these days I feel like that's not quite enough to offer people. You need to have, like, maybe you have a video series or meditation that will take them deeper. Or if you wanted to have a strategy session with folks so they decide what way they want to work with you, that would be a perfect thing. But I don't know if you want to do that. You could use it to drive them to do a paid strategy session with you. And so I think we'd have to figure out, first of all, if you're going to want to drive them to what you would want to drive them to. And then from there, you can lead them to these other things, but you would have mentioned it and they can find out more about it. And or there's another way to come at it where you would do a general one that you did, but then you change slightly the endings, and you do different endings depending where you're wanting to drive them. So I've used the same video that has some overall context of what I do with Luncheonelle, let's say, in my background. I quickly show it via video montage. It happens really fast. And then it drives them to whether that's going to be the live training, or whether that's going to be an online training, or to have a call, strategy session. You can have 3 to 4 different endings to the calling card video. Exactly, DW. That's exactly what I'm suggesting is possible too. And we've done that. We've shot calling card videos and then had several different endings that we've put in there. We just want to make sure, because you want your entire video to be tied into leading to that last call to action. So it would have to be designed in a way that led them to the call to action. Now, think about the video. If you can remember Audra, she was the one with the claim, with the baggage claim, and she was a funny one there. So, she from there could have led them to a strategy session. She from there could have led them to the 30-day challenge. She from there could have led them to a free copy of her book. I mean, whatever that she was going to lead them. And then have another ending to where she's leading them somewhere else. And maybe in that ending, you add some other little details besides just the call to action. But if you wanted just one that got made, you could do that where you get to experience what you're about, like Arson. And Arson didn't really have a call to action on that one, because he was not sure what his call to action was going to be, but he did talk about his book and where he comes from and what he can do for people. And then he added along with that video a call to action. Press here to do this, or he used it in different ways to show people what he was about. So there's options, you're not locked in. So it's kind of 3 options I gave you. One where you shoot different endings and you just have different versions of where the beginning maybe or overall part of it's similar, but the endings are different call to actions. 2 is it's the same call to action and you just know what that one's going to be, that from there you can take them to these other things that you offer. And the 3rd one is you don't necessarily, which is unusual, but in Arson's case it worked. Maybe in your case here it could, because you could still tag on video at the end of this one set piece that always describes what you're about and shows the different facets you play in. And at the end, you then have full screen graphics that then directs them to some type of call to action. And that's different that way. Or you use that video and underneath the video then says what on the site, what the thing that you're offering is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's perfect. I really love the idea of the different endings. And for this video in particular, I actually want to get people to this seminar in India. So the video would need to be, the ending would be, join me in India for the seminar.
Right. And you have an opportunity here to explore being in, this area of the world with fellow conscious leaders and experience the work of Sandra at the deepest level in this exotic place. And then you list all the different things that you'd be offering within that particular offer.
Yeah, that would be absolutely perfect, because it's on before the Women's Economic Forum that I'm speaking at, and there are, a couple of thousand people coming in from all over the world for that. So we're on the weekend before that. So being able to get that out to them and really have them go, wow, I want to work with her, would be great.
Oh my goodness.
I think I'm in for one of your videos.
That's awesome. That's great. That's perfect. Yeah, you are perfect for that. And all that has to happen is just to experience that. When you can really illustrate the transformation that you provide and the different symbolism, not symbolism, but symbolically you're showing real quickly, but all your background, I think it's so powerful. You have very, very compelling calling card video right there.
Great. Well, I think we should do it.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Well, you and I know each other, so we will, we can talk offline here, but hopefully that was helpful though, for those who are watching too, as you see different ways you can look at how you can approach this. Because I did not mention that part, that you can change the ending of this overall video that you might have, so you can make it play towards what you want. And you bear that in mind as you build it or create it, so that you have the freedom for that. So that's awesome. That was really great. I'm glad you came on and shared that.
Oh, thank you. It was invaluable information for me. Thank you so much, Lynn.
Oh, thank you, Sandra. Well, love you loads, and we'll connect later. All right, bye. Awesome. Oh, DW, thank you. I suggest you do it sooner than later. Well, one thing I will just say is that, you know, I suggest you take action, whatever way you take action, sooner than later. I suggest that if you need to go back through, I know we had a lot of gaffes along the way, a lot of interruptions with the technical pieces here, but go back and just really get clear on the branding, what's going to be your overall arching branding, your strategy, the way you want to approach your messaging, the different ways that we gave you that you could do it, get yourself set up for the video and move forward. And maybe the first step is having a session with me, and then we can sort that out for you. And if it's something you want to explore, launch you now, I would love that. I can only take one or two, and who knows with Sandra, that might be one of them. But I can only take one or two because of time. And as DW can certainly verify, I go the extra mile. It's like, what do we got to do to get this done? I don't just skim the surface. We make sure, I mean, I'm probably perfectionistic to a fault, but make sure that we dive in and tune into what's going to resonate for you and resonate for those that you want to reach. And the results speak for themselves. And so when you also tie in all the elements and the pieces that I was sharing here, you can have results too, like we're sharing with all our folks, like Audra. Let's see, how about this? I love this wonderful woman. She's such an example. If I can bring her up here. Where is she? Right here. It's not her. Joanna Ashley. She had this great testimonial that she gave because she was a stay-at-home mom. Oh, there it is. She is a stay-at-home mom, and her husband was a blue-collar worker, and she discovered this healing process, and she wanted to bring it out there to the world, but had no clue. And she was really, money was really tight for her, but she invested in us working with her. And we created the right calling card video. We positioned her. We did everything we just shared with you here. And she was off and running. Do you know, like within 4 months, she was getting interviewed in all the top leading personal growth interviewers out there that have millions of people in their list. And she also started now certifying people in her process, which was stunning to happen that quickly in the popularity and in the rise. And she said by the end of that year, she was looking to where she's going to be able to let her husband quit his job and she can be the breadwinner and still be staying at home with the kids. So that's how powerful this is when you do the work, when you follow through and you do what's needed. And, it'd be my joy if that's something that resonates with you. Of course, my joy to work with you. And at the very least, you can have the session and we can dive deep and come up with what can be your message and come up with some ideas for strategy. Now, it often takes longer than an hour, but we can zero in on exactly what it is that you want to work on. And then you'll be able to get so much out of this one session. In fact, here's from just out of a strategy session. Here's a Cordon Bleu chef. And she said she got more from what we had in that 1 hour than she had with marketing teams that she hired and spent thousands of dollars and months working on. And it's true. We had such breakthroughs with her. And also Marianne Douglas here. Her whole business changed from the connections that I helped make for her, and a ton of ideas for her. So I want that for you too. So if that resonates with you, I believe the offer is up there. You would just put ICF into, yeah, it's still up there. You put ICF, once you go to that link, you just put in ICF, and then you get to get the discount. And it's a one-time discount because I'm $500 an hour. I've been thinking of going up to $1,000 an hour. I'll probably go up to about $750 an hour right now, because the ideas and lasering in are really powerful. And with what we do with Launch You Now, I dive inside your world and take that care, and hand gloves, as DW will attest to. And whatever amount of time it takes till we have it nailed down, that's what we do. And so, that's why it is at the price point that it is. So everyone, thank you, Sandra. And you can, if you were to go for a one-on-one session, then we can apply that towards Launch You Now if you were to decide to do that. Oh, thank you so much, Sandra. So glad you're back. So I really appreciate that you all took the time to be here, and all this time that it took, because think about it, we had to sort through quite a bit on our plate. Oh my gosh. But you were amazing in your patience and in your support. And then also, hopefully, you're able to take all these dots we've given you here and connect them and run with them. And if I'm a part of that journey, it would be my honor. And I just know that we're here to make the difference that we're to make. And we need to not be stopped because we're missing one of the gaps or because we run into our own stuff. It's time to implement. It's time to do. It's time to move forward. And I think Richard Branson said it well. If you aren't making a difference in other people's lives, you shouldn't be in business. It's that simple. Anyway, I want to thank you so much again. And I wish you the best. And make sure you reach out, Lynn at lynnrose.com. Let me get that up here for you. And we'll sign out on that. And let me know. Oh, that's not what I'm trying to show you at all. There we go. Okay. There we go. So Lynn at lynnrose.com. That's how you reach me if you have any questions. Oh, thank you, DW. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you to everyone who was here. And I wish you a beautiful night and a beautiful, amazing life, impacting others and being a wow maker. Because the world needs what you're here to deliver. The world needs you. And I appreciate your time. Thanks so much, you guys. I'd have music, but I don't know how to stop this yet. There we go. Okay. Bye, everyone.